here we fucking go. Episode 68 of White Heat coming at you, presented by Godzilla Media, sponsored by our friends at Mohawk Honda and our friends over at John Stone Supply in Troy. I know the weather's kind of more indecisive than a female trying to pick out dinner for you. I get it. It's okay. Glad JJ got to laugh at that because that's basically my life. But anyways, so summer is over. It is officially, by all calculations, technically fall right now. And even though the temperatures keep fluctuating between wanting to be summer still and wanting to be winter, that should just give you all the more reason to make sure your furnace is in good working order so you're not left out in the cold this winter. So what are you waiting for? You got to go talk to the friends over at John Stone Supply in Troy. All the great brands, all in stock, all at great prices. Goodman, Fujitsu, Westinghouse, they're all there. Plus, if you need more than just repairs and you need a brand new furnace, well, Johnstone Supply can give you the hookup to get that done too. Go talk to our friend George, great guy. You've heard him before numerous times over the course of time with Gaz over on Getting There with Gaz. You can talk to Kev, talk to James, talk to Bird. They're all there to help you out. Make sure you are not left out in the cold this fall and winter. Go check them out. Johnstone Supply, 2600 6th Avenue, Troy. Give them a call, 518-272-5922. Stay warm this fall and winter with Johnstone Supply, 2600 6th Avenue in Troy, 518-272-5922. JJ, I know you had an interesting, eventful weekend. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm exhausted and alive. And you ever have one of those days where for no particular reason you wake up and you got Who is Johnny by El DeBarge stuck in your head on repeat?
Oh, okay.
That's right. My life.
So, everything okay?
Everything's okay.
All right. We didn't lose our cool, did we?
Oh, I lost my cool, but I
mean physically.
I couldn't. I can't stand.
Did you have a cane or a baseball bat handy? I don't fucking know.
I have neither.
Well, that's unfortunate. Keep that in mind, though, for the future.
All it took was one fist pound on the table, and they ran.
Did it involve standing at all?
No, I didn't. I couldn't. I can't stand.
Oh. Can't even bunny hop?
No. I was literally sitting in the chair with my foot elevated on a freaking camping ottoman.
Oh, you had the foot elevated. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I know that you watched a particular show earlier today off DVR. Bless your heart. And so you're nice and ready to go, aren't you, right now? Well, before we get into all of the all that good stuff, let's hop across the Pacific Ocean, not the Atlantic or the other Atlantics in Europe.
The spicy Atlantic.
Right.
The colder Atlantic.
Right. God almighty. Let's hop over the Asian Atlantic to New Japan. So basically,
but they went to the Atlantic.
Wait, what was that?
But I looked at the header. That means they went over the Atlantic.
Well, that's this coming weekend.
Oh, okay. So they're going over the Atlantic.
But no, this weekend, because I mentioned they had that show with 3 title matches yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Much to our chagrin, but our prediction, none of those titles changed hands.
Yeah.
Which allowed me to scroll down real quick. I'm trying to remember what they were. The junior tag titles I know was one of them. Akira and TJP retained over Taguchi and Master Wato.
Yep.
Carl Anderson retained the never openweight title over Tanahashi.
Yep.
And the main event, Ospreay retained the U.S. heavyweight title over David Finlay.
Yep. However, there was some shenanigans after the Tanahashi Anderson match.
I saw that. Please hold. I had that.
I know what it is.
So there was a few different things going on here. Number one, there was, bear with me as I'm pulling up. So, so after Anderson defeated Tanahashi, here we go. Machine Gun started attacking Ace even more.
Mm-hmm.
Toru Yano tried making the save. Mm-hmm. Eventually got attacked by Doc Gallows.
Mm-hmm.
who had gone to a double countout with Toru Yano earlier in the evening. So then Jay White soon joined the attack, all eventually looking to lure Tama Tonga in. So Tama was looking to go after Jay White.
Yep.
Hikuleo hit the ring. And basically Jay White tested the loyalty of Hikuleo here, expecting Hikuleo to attack Tama Tonga to represent Jay White's brand of Bullet Club, essentially. But instead, Hikuleo decided to take out Jay White, so him and Tama held up the never open weight and IWGP World titles, standing tall over Anderson and Jay White. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if Hoogie Lau's ready for a singles push quite, but we're ready for Tama.
Well, yeah. At the same time, I'm not sure Tama's. Are we ready for a Tama world title run necessarily, though?
Hell yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, New Japan's not always hip to the beat, so I'm just. I'm gonna be quietly reserved, is the best way to put it. At the same time, we do have 2 nights coming up in London this weekend for their 2-night event called Royal Quest. Those are going to be on Saturday and Sunday. My memory serves me right. Yes, because the first is a Saturday. So Saturday night, they have released the full cards for both shows. We'll just kind of run through them real quick. Starting with night 1, obviously, on Saturday. From the looks of it, opening match, Gabriel Kidd versus Dan Maloney, 1-on-1. Then a women's tag match. Kanji and Jazzy Gabert.
Jazzy Gabert? Okay.
Yeah, she's going to be teaming up to face Alex Windsor and Ava White. Which I believe one of them is the Rev Pro Women's Champion, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember which one. I think it's Alex Windsor. I could be wrong. Then we have Great O'Khan and Gideon Gray teaming up against Ricky Knight Jr., who's the Rev Pro Heavyweight Champ, and Michael Oku. Then we have a 6-man tag, Takahashi, Sonata, and Naito. LIJ. I was trying to think of the goddamn initials for a second. Holy shit. Against Doki, El Desperado, and ZSJ. So that would be LIJ versus Suzuki-gun.
Yeah.
Then a tag match, Ishii and Okada teaming against Jonah and Bad Dude Tito. Can someone explain who the fuck this Bad Dude Tito guy is?
I don't know.
I don't either. I've suddenly seen him in New Japan cards recently, and I'm just confused. I don't know where he came from. Then we have an 8-man tag. Hikuleo, Jado, Tanahashi, and Tama Tonga against Gato, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Jay White. And then the co-main events, one being for the IWGP tag titles, which we already knew about. FTR defending against Aussie Open. Aussie Open obviously looking to, I wouldn't say unify, but become double champions, we'll say, as they're currently the strong tag champs. And obviously they could hold both belts if they win here. And then the main event, main event is a special singles match with U.S. champion Will Ospreay in a non-title match against Shota Umino. Going singles action there.
Oh, okay. Bad Dude Tito is Tito Escondido. He was he was an indie guy on the West Coast for a while, and then he got out of the business for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, on night 2, Sunday, opening with a tag match, going to be Doki and El Desperado against Michael Oku and Robbie X. Then, Hiromu Takahashi and Sonata going in tag action against Young Guns. I believe those are the Rev Pro tag champs, if I remember correctly. Then the IWGP Women's Tournament, Jazzy Gabert against Ava White in singles action. 10-man tag, Gabriel Kidd, Shota Umino, RKJ, the Rev Pro Heavyweight Champion, and as of right now, the IWGP Tag Champs, FTR. They'll take on Gideon Gray, Great O'Con, Will Ospreay, and Aussie Open.
United Empire.
Yes, thank you. Then singles action, Ishii against Jonah. Also in singles action, Okada against Bad Dude Tito.
Ishii against Jonah. I've seen that match in person.
Wasn't that an Impact at one point?
Yeah, that was the Impact pay-per-view I was at in Poughkeepsie.
I thought so. Then six-man tag action, Hikuleo, Tanahashi, and Tama Tonga against Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Jay White. And then main event scheduled for Sunday night, singles action, Naito against ZSJ.
Yay.
So that's your cards for Saturday and Sunday in London. Obviously,
so
anything notable happens, we'll mention it next week.
Are we sure are we sure the event's going to happen? Are we sure we're done with the Queen's funeral? Is everyone done queuing?
It's done.
We sure?
Yes.
We're sure there's not still people in the queue waiting.
Positive.
Okay, because like there were people waiting for like 3 days.
I know David Beckham did enough crying for everyone. We're okay now. We're good.
Screw David Beckham. There are people that waited longer than him. I don't know why. Like, I could just turn on the TV and see the coffin.
Well, I mean, you gotta think. This monarchy, technically, if you include territories still run by British rule, it's what, like, we're talking like 30 plus countries, right? Technically, countries and territories. You can go look it up. Trust me.
But still, it was just people that lived in London. It's not like people that flew.
It wasn't just people that lived in London. There were people from Scotland, people from Wales.
Well, okay, people from England.
United Kingdom. Be a little broader than that. The United Kingdom.
Yeah.
At large. You make yourself sound so uncultured. Stop it.
Listen, the only monarchy I care about is Billy King and Zachary Pierre Beaulieu. All right.
Fair. And they're quite more entertaining. Especially with forgive me, Lord. Manager, help me.
No.
Well,
the good manager, Marshall McNeil.
Thank you. Well, no, what? Where'd you think I was going?
The manager that Eric stuck them with, who didn't belong anywhere near a wrestling locker room.
No, only the good one. Why would I ever bring up him? No.
Good. Thank you.
No. We've shared our thoughts and opinions about that remaining to be nameless person, haven't we?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I would never. Doesn't deserve the free publicity.
Good.
All right, so let's move on to Impact. They had an interesting week because they had both a TV taping that aired on Thursday, and then they had their live digital-only event, Victory Road, on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also ramping up to next weekend, the first weekend of October, with Friday and Saturday nights in Albany, New York. Friday, Bound for Glory. Saturday, TV tapings. So here we go. Thursday, Impact. Oh, great. The cover photo is Sami Callihan, all bloody with blood on the contract. That's nice.
It's very it's very off-putting that Bound for Glory and Victory Road are a week apart from each other when those are like the two of the big four for TNA back in the day.
You know what else is off-putting?
What?
Why is Sami Callihan trying to be John Moxley light?
Because they used to tag.
Who gives a fuck?
Apparently the IWC, because everyone's been asking for a Switchblade Conspiracy freaking reunion for freaking months. And
how?
Never...
How?
Because AEW works with Impact.
They haven't done any...
I know.
They happen to shit themselves into Motor City Machine Gun showing up for All Out.
Right.
Like...
But every time something like that happens, they're like, we need a Switchblade Conspiracy reunion.
No, we don't. No. Need that for a CZW show. No. We don't need it on fucking TV. Moxley gouging himself open in 4 minutes is not what we need double of. Okay, right. Thank you. Fuck off. We need a Switchblade. Fuck off. Giselle Shaw won the pre-show match. Who cares? It was against nobody. Then they opened the actual TV show with the ladder match for the digital media title, which Brian Myers retained.
I saw part of that.
Was it really? Nah. Yeah, I didn't think so.
It was on in the background. We had Shell over for dinner, and it was on in the background. So
So it wasn't a he's gonna be buried moment. Well,
No, that doesn't happen in my house.
Okay. So then they show Heath apologizing to Josh Alexander and Rich Swann for inadvertently cost them the Impact Tag titles the week before. And it helps that tomorrow night, well, not tomorrow night, the next night they were teaming in a 6-man against Eddie, Taven, and Bennett. But then Heath said he wants to be alone for a street fight open challenge against any member of Honor No More. Yay, great. Apparently Steve Macklin blindsided Sami Callihan at Wrestling Revolvers event the weekend before, so they showed a clip of that. Probably. Who cares? Jordan Grace beat the shit out of Ziggy Dice. Tell me that you're shocked. Then James Mitchell talks about Maxie and Paler. Yay, great.
I dig Max.
Then they had a free-for-all 5-way, basically.
Yeah, that was woof.
Yeah, I can imagine. Black Taurus ends up beating Mia Yim, Trey Miguel, Alex Zane, Laredo Kid when Black Taurus got the pin over Alex Zane.
Yeah, it was one of those like 18 finishers to the finish bits.
Your typical multi-way match, basically. And then Eric Young and Diener with another like vignette kind of thing.
Yeah, like I don't know what the hell they're doing. It was like everyone was wearing yellow hoodies, and then like they all like were on the ground.
Revival of Violence is here. Oh,
yeah, that's apparently that's going to be the new thing instead of Violence Unlimited. Apparently, it's going to be the Revival of Violence or something. I mean, it looked like it was produced well. I just don't know where they're going with it. Like it was like here's 12 indie jabronis and yellow hoodies.
Can I need to say something to get this off my chest. I feel like the wrestling world owes an apology to Eric Young.
Yes.
Like, can we give him anything else?
I mean, they're letting him produce his own stuff because Eric's a hell of a producer. Which is why, like, I really wish, like, Trips would extend a hand and have him come be a producer for developmental like he was. Because that's why, like, his last year in WWE, he wasn't doing much in-ring stuff because he was doing backstage producer stuff. He would really benefit from producing the new NXT.
He just looks pigeonholed at this point.
He does. I mean, I feel like he's been
pigeonholed since they did what the fuck was it they did with Wolf and Nikki? What the fuck was that called? The group in WWE.
Sanity.
Yeah. I feel like he's been pigeonholed really ever since that.
Yeah, he's basically been doing Sanity Light since then.
Right. I just
right. Which was okay, like, but like at least like, and like when he first came back to Impact, like the vignettes he was cutting, because you're looking at a guy who has a paralyzed vocal cord, so he has that raspy voice now, but he made it work to his advantage, and the dude can talk, and the dude's a solid hand. Like he's like, unfortunately, he's never like he's Jake Roberts. He's got everything that's there, but he's never going to be your main guy.
Who'd you say?
Jake Roberts.
I had another comparison, especially since you mentioned the messed up vocal cord.
Stevie Richards?
No.
I was going to say Stevie ain't
little older.
I like Stevie, but not fresh out B.
Slightly older. Not with us anymore, but slightly older than that.
I don't know.
His kid's in AEW.
Pillman. Yeah.
Like that was the exact comparison.
I don't know. I think if Pillman hadn't had those injuries, I think Pillman could have been main event one day.
Oh, you're talking about like the knee and all that shit.
Yeah, the car wreck and then the yap and all that stuff. Like I think if he didn't have those injuries, I think Pillman could have been a main eventer.
That's a hell of a hypothetical to bring up. Not just the main eventer stuff.
Yeah. It's like Magnum TA.
If shit doesn't go sideways with him towards the end of the contract he was in, and Eric Bischoff doesn't work himself into a shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Could WCW have worked for him?
So if he was still stuck in WCW, no, he would have just been mid card still. He would have been in the Horsemen
like the Steve Austin stuck.
He would have been the number 3 guy in the Horsemen. Like that's it. Like, but if he had still like gone to WWE and had not gotten in that accident like right before signing with WWE, life would be very different.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because when you fast forward a couple years later, Eddie Guerrero's WWE career didn't exactly start out so hot because he fucking hurt himself night one.
Right.
And basically almost fucked himself out of a career right there and then.
Right.
But he was just lucky enough he had the right eyeballs watching out for him at that point. So,
yeah.
Eddie Hooser, getting back to Impact, they had a Joe Hendry thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we're just going to keep pushing that back, I guess. And then Keith gets his challenge answered by PCO because that's the guy I would want to face in a street fight.
Here's what's really sad. He went over on PCO.
I know. Are we just at a point where we're just going to have PCO do as much stupid, crazy shit as possible?
I mean, hasn't that been the story for the last 5 years?
I know, but like it's like
it was quite funny when we were sitting here and Shell, like, because like, the wife only knows wrestling through me and Shell, like, right. So like she still gets filled in at parts or whatever. And so like we see PCO and then Shell was just like shelters. She was just like, you need to look up Jean-Pierre Lafitte. And she's like, why? She's like, cause it's funny.
Which part?
The whole getup.
Define are we anything specific we're talking about? We're just talking about the whole run.
The whole pirate gimmick.
So we're talking about the stealing Bret Hart's jacket stuff too?
Oh no, not even that. Just the way he looked and just the gimmick itself. We didn't get into any storylines regarding him.
Man.
But I had to explain to her. I was like, well, listen, you got to go back to the Quebecers first. And then she was like, oh, that's right. He was the Mountie. I was like, no, Jacques Rougeau was the Mountie. And then when Jacques Rougeau left, he came back a year later and he teamed with Carl Ouellette and they were the Quebecers and their music specifically said they weren't the Mounties. Like, this is where I went through the whole thing.
And Raven was their manager as Johnny Polo.
Exactly. Actually, Harvey Whippleman was their manager originally, and then it was Johnny Polo.
Right.
And then, what do you call it? Then Jacques left, and so they repackaged Carl Ouellette as Jean-Pierre Lafitte. And then when that didn't work, both of them went to WCW and started tagging again as the Amazing French Canadians.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And he was still wearing the eye patch instead of wearing the glass eye.
I forgot they were tagging again in WCW. Yeah,
yep. A lot of people did. They literally were just like guaranteed money. Yo.
Yeah. Well, who wasn't at that time?
Exactly. But that's like that's like when I see like old shoot interviews, they were talking like the ring crew guys in WCW are making 6 figures at the time. Oh yeah.
Fuck out of here with that. So we get to the Guns defeating Aussie Open to earn a shot to tag titles against Eddie and Bennett. Not Eddie and Bennett, Taven and Bennett at Bound for Glory. Please tell me that was the end of the show. Of course it wasn't the end of the show.
No, there was something else.
Tasha Steelz was getting interviewed. Blah, blah, blah. Killer Kelly was there. Sure. Okay. They were talking about their match the next night. Then Giselle Shaw says shit about Mickey James. Blah, blah, blah. And then, the contract signing ended the night.
The contract, which is why I say that's right.
Yeah, with Bloody McBloodyson. Because he just had to sign his contract in blood to show, hey, I'm cool. I'm hardcore. Suck a dick. Anyways, go to Victory Road the next night. And they kicked off with a 6-man tag of Ace Austin, Chris Bay, and Juice Robinson against...
Oh, that's right, because Juice Robinson and Bullet Club now.
Jason Hotch, Shogun, and Jack Price. Who the fuck are these guys?
Young boys.
3 gut check winners? Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, they were gut check winners who were doing the New Japan Dojo.
Yeah, the job. Okay.
Yeah.
Then Alexander, Rich Swann, and Heath are interviewed backstage. Blah, blah, blah. Then we get Tasha Steelz beating Killer Kelly by DQ. As Kelly... So Savannah Evans was choking out Kelly with a chain while the referee was distracted. Then Kelly fought off Evans, used the chain to choke Tasha, which caused a DQ. Sure. Then Kelly chokes off the referee after the match before Lance Storm and Tommy Dreamer break it up. That's great.
That's right. Tommy Dreamer's back.
He never says no.
It's
Anyways,
been a year. It's easy enough. It's been a year since the plane ride from hell episode of Dark Side. He can come back now.
then Bailey successfully defends the X Division title against Delirious. This is my shocked face.
I mean, it's great that
how old is
Hunter helped
Delirious
put him
now?
over.
How old is he now? Like, gotta be around 40, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think he's early 40s.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's good that he'll still
not that
go
I'm
once in a
saying
while and
age
try to
should
help out a
determine
guy.
if you're in the ring or not. I don't know. Nothing made sense there. So
Right. Well, yeah, but like the later days of Ring of Honor, like when Hunter was the booker, and then like he'll just randomly show up for an episode sometimes, like in gimmick, and like why? Right. Like, are you that short on people? I mean, they were doing COVID, but still.
Well, yeah, COVID, yeah. Then they have the amazing. I'm fucking blanking on his last name. Anyways, Matt Ruholt. I'll just call him his actual name now. And Tommy Hannafin, baby. They announced how they were auctioning off stuff on eBay, ring-worn and autographed gear from stars like Lance Storm, Ace Austin, Mia Yim, etc., etc. All proceeds going towards Joe Doring's battle with cancer.
That's right.
Then Maria Kanellis is backstage talking whatever she talks. Usually not English, but
my husband is my meal ticket. There you go.
Honestly, who's ever looking at Maria and actually listen to what she says? Then we get the Motor City Machine Guns defeating PCO and Vincent in tag action. And then we get Giselle Shaw losing to Mickey James. No shit. Blah, blah, blah. Then the Triple Threat Revolver.
Whoa.
So, like I mentioned last week when we were trying to figure out what the fuck a Triple Threat Revolver was, 3 competitors starts basically a never-ending triple threat match until you get down to the last 3 and the next pinfall wins.
Yep.
That's the way it works. Final wrestler to score the pinfall or submission would be declared the winner and challenge Mike Bailey at Bound for Glory for the X Division title. They started with Mia Yim, Laredo Kid, and Trey Miguel. Laredo Kid was the first elimination. Being pinned by Mia Yim. Okay. Then we get Mia Yim getting the crucifix bomb on Alex Zane, who was the next entrant, and eliminating him.
Yep.
And then Mia Yim, Trey Miguel, and Kenny King was the next one. Kenny King eliminates Mia Yim while holding the tights. That brings out Yuya Uemura. Trey Miguel then eliminates Uemura. So that brings us to Frankie Kazarian getting in, who gets Trey Miguel in a rear naked choke for the tap out. Then Black Taurus comes out, and he's the final entrant. And Kazarian,
right, because he won the 5-way.
Right. And then Kazarian beats Kenny King. He gets the pin on him. So it's going to be Kazarian challenging Mike Bailey for the X Division title at Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Gail Kim backstage grants Taya Valkyrie, Rosemary, and Jessica their rematch for the Knockouts World Tag Team titles at Bound for Glory. This time it'll be Taya Valkyrie and Jessica challenging for the gold. No Rosemary.
Because she's sick.
Who, Rosemary?
No, Jessica.
Oh.
Her gimmick.
Oh. Right. Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Then, please tell me you heard about what happened next.
A guy found his Just for Men and made an appearance.
Now, I can officially go on the record and announce this. He is not officially signed to any kind of contract. He legit was just brought in for that night and also for putting stuff in the can with a bunch of backstage stuff in the can for the upcoming tapings next couple weeks. Plus,
because he's still trying to get back into WWE.
Plus, he's going to be booked for Bound for Glory on the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day after for TV tapings, he's going to be booked.
Yep.
So Bobby Fish shows up.
Glad I'm not going to Bound for Glory. Shell agreed to.
Listen. I'm like, there's a part of me that's trying to find nice, nice compromising way to say what I want to say, because and it has nothing to do with Bobby himself. And it has nothing to do with the fact that Bobby is from 40 minutes away from me. It has nothing to do with that. It's only because I'm thinking about the fact that a buddy of mine that I was in the radio business with, who's still in radio, is basically his producer and co-host of the podcast that Bobby does. So I'm trying to think about if I want to parse words here or not. And I'm going to say, fuck that. Motherfucker, what good does it for you, the fan base you are addressing, or the company you just are making an appearance for, to drag mud from your previous company onto their screen? It does nothing for you. It does nothing for them. It does nothing for the fans in the crowd. It does nothing for the fans watching on Impact Plus. And quite frankly, it does nothing to help you with whatever you're trying to negotiate with Trips.
Yep.
It fucking does nothing. You know what it does? It shows that you're just a sensitive little puss with a bunch of sand stuck in its vag.
I could have told you that 20 years ago.
Like, motherfucker, there's no point in trying to say, and I directly quote here apparently, he's not here for the bullshit. I call bullshit on that because you're dragging bullshit into your promo first night in. If you're not here for the bullshit, why are you bringing up CM Punk, who doesn't even belong in that fucking company? If you're not bringing up the bullshit, why are you apparently trying to get Kyle and Adam jobs when they don't fucking want them? Only to have one of them turn around and rat you out to the boss you just had. What fucking good does that do for you? Nothing. Fucking nothing. Except give you more gray hair so next time you go to color them. Fuck off. Just unbelievable, man. I'm done. I'm fucking done. Like, I have tried, and you can attest to this because, like, anytime Bobby Fish was brought up on this show before today, whether it had to do with AEW or whatnot, I had done my absolute best to never shit on Bobby. Because A, of him being a local guy, and B, the fact that the couple of times I did work with him before, he was nice to me, so fuck it. I might as well be respectable back. Now I'm at the point where, fuck all that. Like, I get that it's a facade now. I kind of assumed it was anyways when I did work with you, but now I really fucking know it was all facade. So you know what? Fuck off, man. Just purely fuck off. I have run out of words in this moment to run out. I have to say what I'm feeling right now. Like, I got nothing. You pick this up because I'm done.
Bobby Fish has been a pain in the ass ever since back when he was the infamous Jerk Jackson, which is when he really lived up to his name. And the crowd made fun of him and called him Paul Roma. Take Bobby's facial hair off. He looks like Paul Roma. Well, so the crowd used to call him Paul Roma.
That's creepy.
And he used to wrestle in cow print tights with a belly button ring.
Oh, ew.
Oh yes.
Ew.
And I've said this before, like because Tony DeVito was his trainer, and he used to have Tony call and beg to have him put on shows. Like CCW would do it, Connecticut Championship Wrestling. They would call Mike Milano and he'd be like, listen, can you give this kid a spot? And Mike did once. And it was a freaking debacle. And after that, every time Tony called, he was like, no, Tony, I don't care. Like, if you say you're not going to show up, I'll find something else to do. I love you, but
Listen,
this has to be a package deal. No.
listen. I don't know their opinions of him, but I'm just going to come out and say this. Although I'm assuming it goes unsaid. But if Shell or your main business partner ever even utters the syllables, starts to utter the syllables of that name for any show in 2023 and beyond, call me and I'll make the 3-hour drive to punch him in the fucking face. Like, fuck me. Like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, I assume that goes unsaid, but I had to say it just to get it off my chest. Like,
Here, I'll cheer you up. Watch this. You were a 90s kid, right?
yes.
Yeah.
I love Snapple.
Snapple Elements, baby.
Sorry, we just had a moment. But I know it doesn't do anything for the audio only crowd. But oh, all right. Okay, I'm better now. All right, so now we get to 6-man action with Honor No More, Edwards, Taven, and Bennett defeating Alexander, Swan, and Heath. Sure, great. So Eddie gets the pin on Alexander, which obviously just heightens things for their title match and Bound for Glory. Then Mickey James. So Mickey James gives credit to Mia Yim for her performance in the Triple Threat Revolver, and then goes ahead and challenges Mia Yim to a match for Bound for Glory. Interesting. So here's your reward. You get to lose to me. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Jordan Grace defending the Knockouts title against Maxie Impaler, which Jordan Grace wins. After the bell, she gets on the mic and reveals that Masha Slamovich's opponent in Pick Your Poison this Thursday is going to be... Oh, fuck me. Why are we doing this? It's Allie Catch.
Duh.
It gets better.
Is Effie going to be with her?
No, guess what kind of match it's going to be?
The bra and panties match.
No. Really? Fucking
You
really?
never fucking know nowadays.
An Impact in 2022?
You never know.
I'd expect that out of a fucking outlaw dirtbag indie down in Alabama, not fucking Impact.
So what is it? Freaking is it Full Metal Mayhem?
Oh, at least you went with an Impact themed match. Okay, you're on the right track. Keep going.
Just some form of no DQ.
We're doing a fucking Monsters Bowl on free TV again.
With 2 people. There, oh God.
Then we get to the end of the night, last match, because you had to save the blood for the last match, plus the barbed wire wrapped N64 controller. Steve McElwain's barbed wire massacre over Moose and Sami Callihan. Thank the good Lord.
Boy.
For that match, though, they had an announcement for Bound for Glory. Did you hear about this announcement?
No.
They're going to induct a new member into the Impact Hall of Fame, because that's worth a grain of salt, at Bound for Glory. Would you like to take a guess who from old school TNA was announced? I mean old school TNA.
Jeff Jarrett.
No. I mean, you're in the right realm of... Isn't Jeff already in it, though?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's odd, but no.
Well, it's because he doesn't have a share in it anymore, so.
Oh, true. But no.
AJ Styles.
Well, when I said you're in the right realm, you're in like the right age realm.
Oh, okay. I don't freaking know. Oh, RVD?
No.
Oh.
I was trying to do a full stretch. It wasn't working out because of the wall right here. Raven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Raven's going to be in Albany. Interesting.
Well, I mean, it's not that far of a drive, so.
Yeah. All right. So Let's see what we have here for Bound for Glory. I know it's not for another week and a half, but fuck it. Let's see what we got here. Obviously, Alexander versus Eddie Edwards for the world title. Jordan Lynch, Masha Slamovich for the Knockouts title. Taven and Bennett defending the tag titles against Motor City Machine Guns. Bailey defending the X Division title against Kazarian. Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo defend the Knockouts tag titles against Taya and Jessica. Mia Yim against Mickie James. And obviously the induction of Raven into the Impact Hall of Fame. So we have the induction plus 3, 4, 6 title matches so far? Yeah, 6 title matches. And obviously you can assume there's going to be, I think they usually do 2 pre-show matches.
Yes, they do. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then they might even throw in 1 or 2 random non-title matches just to fill out the card a little more, I'd assume.
Right.
So yeah, that's where things are at with Impact. I'm trying to remember real quick if there was anything else. I don't think so, aside from the fact I just shit on Fish. No, that was it. I had that and Raven. Those are the only notes I really had aside from the recaps. Yeah. All right. Usually New Japan and Impact doesn't take us 40 minutes, but when you need to shit on Bobby Fish, you need some time. You know what I mean? All right. Speaking of shit, get your notes out.
Done.
All right. I'm going to try to get through the shows themselves before I get to all the news and notes spewing out since then. First note I have is fuck Judas. Because
Jesus. Yeah. Way to give prestige to this quote unquote world title by having it be the curtain jerker.
So I have a few different notes from the match.
Yep.
Number 1, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was going through the head of Kerry Silkin sitting ringside for that match?
I'm getting paid.
Fair. Okay. It's not exactly the quote I got. You have the right number of words picked out, though. 3.
What the actual fuck?
That'd be 4 words.
Oh, what the fuck?
My poor baby. That was the phrase I picked out.
Oh, that too. Yeah. Yeah. I had Kerry Silkin with the worst bump of the night. And that ramp setup was unsafe and stupid.
What you mean, having the weird see-through glass going all the way?
The LED ramp that's there, and then there's like nothing covered on the sides, and like I understand using that LED ramp for like when they first introduced it as being on the floor.
Right.
Having it like that is dangerous.
Well, yeah, we knew that, but who said you have to have brains to work at AEW?
Apparently.
Also, is it me? I'm sure you're gonna make a bigger thing out of this than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Is it me, or is there something weird to the cadence and form of Aubrey Edwards when she's doing a pin count?
Everything about Aubrey is stupid.
I had a feeling I was going to go there. Oh no, there was just something very specific to when she was doing the pinfall attempts. I don't know. The cadence just looked weird.
It's the way I used to feel about Bill Alfonso back when he was back before the ECW days, when Vince brought him in because he was Giant Gonzalez's handler.
Yeah.
And like I always hated the way he reffed matches. Like go back and watch any squash match with Bill Alfonso reffing, and like the way he would count 3, like it looked so stiff and motionless, and I hated it.
Okay.
Aubrey Edwards has officially dethroned Bill Alfonso.
Oh, Jesus.
But let's talk about that stupid ass fucking non-bump.
Enlighten me.
The setup to the finish where Jericho Irish whips Claudio into the corner, where Aubrey's standing there and she turns into the corner and goes like this.
Oh.
Where she was literally already out of the way and could have sidestepped to the left one more spot just to make sure she wasn't in the way. That was the dumbest shit ever.
I got something before that.
Oh yeah, me too.
Talk about the shittiest fucking code breaker counter ever.
Mm-hmm.
Where Jericho didn't even fucking bother to try and reach up to grab the fucking head of Claudio to make it look good at all.
Everything in that match looked staged. And I even said, but my note was, this is a WWE match in an AEW ring with an ROH mask over it.
Yeah.
Because they were literally doing choreographed, I'm not going to touch you WWE stuff. Because they've both been on TV and they're used to the cameras being out at a wider angle.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the thing is, Claudio knows how to work snug. Jericho doesn't.
No shit.
Jericho maybe did at one point and he's forgotten.
Yeah, 25 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, so Jericho wins thanks to a low blow in the Judas effect. Great.
Worst Judas effect. He didn't even touch him with the Judas effect.
I didn't even notice it that close.
Oh, that's what everyone online's been talking about. He didn't even touch him. You could go. I'm sure there's Twitter clips. Just watch. It's bad.
Probably.
It's bad. And then of course, the whole thing with the code of honor wasn't observed afterwards. And then there's
wasn't observed beforehand either.
No, it was. They shook hands at the beginning.
Oh, right, hesitantly, yeah.
And then the whole freaking the whole thing with Daniel Garcia standing there looking all, man, you didn't do it. Just fucking stop it. Just fucking stop.
Right.
Knock it off.
Yeah. Next thing I have in my notes. Scissor me, daddy ass!
Jesus fuck. So many things. Okay, number one, all of those robot crane shots they kept doing were doing nothing but exposing the empty seats there.
Correct.
Which, by the way, total count for tickets sold. That's including unclaimed tickets through
13,300 or something like that.
13,321. That arena seats 22,000.
Yepers.
And also with the average, what do you call it? So that this is an average TV. No matter what they try to say, it was an average episode of TV. And that means the average price per ticket was $75 for a random ass TV. Whereas you go to a random ass Raw or SmackDown, you can get tickets for $25. And even ringside seats are a little more expensive, but not that much.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to point out that they were all, this is our first $1 million gig. 13,321. The last two times I was at the XL Center, it was sold out for Raw and SmackDown. The XL Center holds 16,200.
Lick my balls. There was a point where I thought Max legit messed up his knee. Couldn't really tell for sure. Might have. I don't know. There's been no reports of anything since, so I'm assuming he's okay.
Yeah. Now he's got to waste his time with fucking Wheeler Useless.
Yeah.
Who you just put that kid out there to slaughter because you can't. I mean, granted, there aren't many that can cut a promo as good as MJF that are there, but that kid was just the wrong choice.
Didn't even get there yet.
Literally, he was only out there because he's in the same stable as Mox and Danielson.
We didn't even come close to getting there yet.
What are you talking about? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The title match.
Yeah, but the MJF promo was right before that.
No, the MJF promo was 2 segments later.
No, the MJF promo was before that.
It was the tag title match.
Oh, sorry. Nope. I scrolled down. It's right. You're bad. My bad. Yes. Sorry.
Oh, brother.
My bad. Yeah.
No,
oh, that's right. Yeah. Here we go. Yep. Yeah. That's right. The Acclaims. I said, so yeah, let's mention glory holes when your fucking partner is gay.
I must have missed that.
It was during the
promo, the rap?
During the rap, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's been escaped out of my mind.
Yeah. By the way, I'd like to point out that Anthony Bowens needs to shut the fuck up. I'm the first gay champion in AEW. So Nyla Rose doesn't exist.
Correct. Yep. Whoops. So aside from the obvious Swerve versus Keith Lee angle that's going to be coming up at some point,
which we knew was coming.
Now what? Now let's fast forward 2 months. Now let's assume they have a match at the fuck is it? Full Gear coming up? Yeah, Full Gear. Let's assume they have a match at Full Gear in what's going to be November, I think. Usually.
Let's assume, but we know it's not going to happen. It's going to be on Rampage.
Well, that's just fucking dumb. But anyways, let's assume they have their blow off, whatever it be, 1, 2, 3 matches, fuck all, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They have their blow off. Then what?
Then nothing.
Well, we're just
that's the problem.
Swerve into the every ocean is the Atlantic Ocean Championship division.
Exactly.
Or the TNT division. Is that what we're gonna do? Is Keith Lee gonna be the one that takes the belt off Wardlow because he happens to be bigger than Wardlow? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
No, they're gonna feed Keith Lee to Wardlow, and then that's all you're gonna see from Keith Lee. Dude, you could see the look on Keith Lee's face during that whole match. The look on I've worked with enough people where you can read them during their fucking matches. And Keith Lee's face during that whole match was, I can't believe I have to carry these fucking kids. I can't believe I have to fucking put them over. I know my fucking push here is over and I want to go back to Trips. He was almost in tears at the end because he's just like, this is it. Like, why am I fucking doing this? That was the look on his fucking face. Like, okay, let me point out a couple things during this match. So the double team spot they went where Lee had fucking Caster up for the power bomb and went to the corner, tag and Swerve. Swerve gets up on the rope, and then Swerve and fucking Caster start chicken fighting while Lee's got. Why didn't Lee just drop Caster? Like, he just stood there for a minute and a half while he let them fucking play chicken. Like, oh, like that made no sense. Boombox spot was right in front of the fucking ref, with the ref looking right at it. 2 matches in a row with a foreign object.
Yep.
Why is the ref outside? Why did the ref go outside during that? Why are the baby faces cheating?
Are you referring to
Billy Gunn?
Okay.
Yep. And then afterwards, why is there fucking confetti for this tag match, but not for the world tag match that was right before it? Or for the main event?
They like pink? I don't know.
Dude, there were just so many things fucking wrong. And then it was funny because I wrote Lee knows his push is over. And I also wrote during that, I was like, meanwhile, FDR can't get a match on TV. And then we go to the next segment.
Right. Which is FTR backstage being interviewed by Lexi, who then gets interrupted by Gun Club. And
they made FTR look like a fucking joke.
Right.
FTR just stood there and took everything these fucking kids said and let them walk off and just stood there like despondent. Like, you're holding 3 belts apiece. This is when you kick these kids in the fucking dick. Like, you're supposed to be these badass hard noses and you just let a couple of 20-somethings shit all over you. And this is the sandbox you have to play in because like, oh, well, we've been number 1 contenders for 7 weeks, motherfucker. You've been holding all 3 of those belts for a long ass time. How have you only been number 1 contenders for 7 weeks?
Right. Then, yeah. Then we get to what you started talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what was more brutal. Yuta trying to go back and forth with Max. The shit-tastic bump that Tony took for Max. Or the shit show of Yuta trying to sell for Morrissey. I don't know what hurt my heart more.
Everything was bad. And you know something, the whole setup to it was bad because if you look, so they obviously the way AEW has their setup with the 2 tunnels and everything, that works when there's not a giant ass LED screen behind those 2 tunnels, because then they don't look like tunnels. They just look like circles in front of a big screen, where you can tell the guys are coming out from the side of the screen and then through the tunnel. Like, just little things like that on TV don't look right.
Can I bring up a novel idea?
Sure.
Can we just get rid of the 2 entranceways?
Well, no, because we have to let people know who are first tuning in who's the babyface and who's
Fuck
the heel.
off!
Even though we don't believe in babyfaces and heels in AEW.
And not only that, the faces come out of the heel tunnel and heels come out of the face tunnel all the fucking time. There's no real designation there.
Only when it's Pac.
And Danielson seems to never know either. He comes out whatever side he fucking wants to, it seems like.
That's true.
Like, what's the fucking point? Then we get Jade and the Baddies. They do the pre-tape backstage with Tony, who's interrupted by Diamante.
I wrote, who are these women?
Chick?
I don't fucking know. Trina?
Like, I'm sorry. I like to think I'm cultured. Who the fuck is Trina?
I don't fucking know.
Like, I know she's from South Florida because obviously she's from the 305. Who the fuck is Trina?
I don't fucking know.
Katrina Laverne Taylor, professionally known as Trina. Oh, that's okay. She
What?
rose to prominence in 1998 when
Who?
she was in a song with Trick Daddy.
Trick Daddy was in the 90s? I only remember Trick Daddy from 2006.
She also had a single that went to top 30 song in 2013. She like for pimping out a 40 some odd year old rapper who doesn't really do anything anymore. Isn't even
Because we didn't have enough rappers on this fucking show.
She's not even active on the music scene. She does Love and Hip Hop on MTV more than she.
That's why. That's why.
She spends more time on Love and Hip Hop than she does actually in a fucking recording studio. So we're just gonna pimp her out, and then you eventually, at some point over the weekend, have fucking Jade Cargill asking Lil Nas to show up at some point. Like,
I've called this. I've called this.
What?
What show is she on?
Love and Hip Hop.
Which is on?
MTV.
Which is owned by?
No. You're not going there. No.
He's already kissing Paramount's ass.
No. Although it is a second-rate wrestling company, so it actually kind of fit on a second-rate TV channel. But no.
He's kissing Paramount's ass.
No. I don't want Wendy Williams on my TV. No.
I know, we already got her in NXT.
Oh, that caught me funny. That was good. I have a question.
Yes.
When's the last time you knocked somebody out with a ring bell hammer? And nobody could fucking see it.
Hold on. Here. I've got something heavier than a ring bell hammer. I got this Sharpie here.
I mean, first off, the whole match itself, just no.
Dude, okay, number one. So, fucking Sockface kept mentioning Revolution 2020 because apparently they faced each other there. Wasn't that the fucking show where Orange Cassidy got knocked the fuck out and they kept going? And like everyone was worried about Orange Cassidy, like because he was legit knocked out, and Pac just kept like dragging him in.
Bear with me, please hold. Oh, did you know Orange is 38? I didn't know he was that old already.
Yeah.
Let's see. You said Revolution, right?
Yeah, they said Revolution 2020.
Revolution defeated by Pac. His performance was praised by critics. There's nothing.
I don't know, because it was around that time that they had the match where like he legit got knocked the fuck out, and everyone was talking like this match shouldn't have kept going.
Let me see here. I'm gonna try to see if there's anything. I mean, I'm not seeing any kind of news really that. Anyways, go ahead. Was there something else you wanted to bring up?
Now let's see. 3 matches in a row. What?
Oh my God! No, I did not just fucking see that. No.
What?
No.
What?
No.
Tell me. You gotta.
So on Google, I switched the tab from all in my search to the news.
Yeah.
The first blog, and I know it's a blog because it's not a professional media organization.
Yeah.
The first blog at the very top of the news screen when I searched Orange Cassidy Pac AEW Revolution 2020. That's the exact phrase I used.
Yep.
The headline reads, quote, Pac and Orange Cassidy are the best rivalry in pro wrestling. God, help me. Who are these so-called journalists saying this shit? I mean, fuck it. I'm going to call them the cultured vultures Whoever the fuck you are. Cultured vultures.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, they do video games. They do reviews like video games and TV and shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh god.
What?
No, I need to read the opening of this blog.
Oh God.
Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage.
Let
It gets
me
worse.
guess, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
No, then Steve Austin and The Rock.
Oh Jesus.
John Cena and Randy Orton. Vince McMahon and Basic Human Decency.
Oh God.
Pro wrestling as a medium thrives on building big money rivalries. The kind of titanic clash between opposing forces that you simply have to buy the pay-per-view to see who comes out on top. Among all the pro wrestling going on today, amidst all of the white-hot feuds in every major wrestling company, one pairing has stood out in recent years. AEW's ongoing rivalry between the lazy layabout slacker Orange Cassidy and the brooding, brutal try-hard Pac. Oh my! First of all, you don't need all those fucking adjectives for those.
White hot, big money rivalry.
Right. Second of all, the fact you even came close to quoting our show name in that sentence, I want to fucking shoot you in the penis for.
Tell Gaz's buddy that. Send him this so he knows.
Cease and desist the blog right now. Cease and desist right now.
I'm just thinking about it, therefore it happened.
And number 3.
Declassified.
How dare you, cultured vultures? I don't know who you are or where you're from. How dare you put those names into the same paragraph of writing at the same time? Fuck you. And he eventually calls whoever wrote this eventually also calls Orange Cassidy the king of sloth style. Like, who makes this shit up? Who is this?
I'm pretty sure no one else works Orange Cassidy's gimmick.
Who the fuck is this retard that wrote this? I really shouldn't say that word, but still, oh my god! Like, who in the name of their mommy's basement? Ryan Stevens. Ryan, good sir, you should just stick to being a playwright and a director of community theater and not write about wrestling. I'm not shitting you. That's actually the first part of his bio. He mentions how he's a playwright and a director. Stick to your community theater bullshit. Stop writing about wrestling, please.
Non-repertory.
Any hooser.
Yeah, my final note was just 3 matches in a row with a foreign object and a dirty finish.
So then we get the 4-way for the women's title.
Terrible.
Where Athena decides to break Britt's nose on a very stupid fucking move.
Nah. Was that
I guess I'm blaming
double
Athena.
knees gimmick?
No, it was the I don't know if it was like a double suplex or some weird shit. It was towards the end of the match.
Yeah.
And all I know is that who was the other girl involved in that? Was it Tony maybe?
No, it was Serena.
Oh, Serena?
Yeah.
So Serena lands clean because she's the true suplex.
Right.
So she lands and out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Fucking Athena's ass just falls right on her face. Like, that's a hard ass. Just. And the worst part is, I could see it right away. Like, it wasn't even that hard to fucking see that she clearly fucked up Britt.
Yeah.
Like, before there was any blood, before there was any camera shot at Britt, I knew right away she done fucked up.
I would just like to understand one thing.
How does Britt Baker constantly break her nose? I don't know.
Well, how is it that someone who has failed at winning the secondary women's title on numerous occasions in recent memory is all of a sudden in a championship match for the main women's title?
Because the programming just happened to work that way.
Damn dog broke the curtain rod.
Maybe if Ruby Soho didn't get hurt, it would have been her instead of Athena in that program.
I mean, they have other people.
You're asking me to make sense of Tony Khan's coke-headed brain, okay?
Put Trina in there.
Now, that's a face I wouldn't mind seeing a busted nose on.
She has a no bump contract.
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you so much. Fuck you. So Storm retains the interim women's title. Then Deeb and Baker start beating down Athena and Storm. Hayter comes down, and apparently it was all the work. Hayter and Britt are on good
Swerve,
terms.
bro.
Yeah, swerve, bro. We're going to swerve them on the swerve, bro. Now we get to...
Hi, everybody.
I need to understand something here. I need the keyboard warriors to pull their seats a little closer. Get out of jack-off distance. Get a little closer now. Move in that 2 inches of fist they usually have down there. Okay? There you go. You're a little closer now. And either put headphones on or get your ear a little closer to your computer speaker because I have a very important question to ask you. If Saraya is medically cleared to physically compete, then why the fuck are Hayter, Baker, and Deeb
Powder.
getting in the ring?
3 heels. Powder for someone slowly walking to the ring.
Who hasn't wrestled in years?
Mm-hmm.
How does that logic work? I'll tell you why. Because she can't fucking wrestle.
Yep.
I don't care what she goes on fucking TBS and say this Wednesday. I don't give a fuck what she says. There is no fucking way.
I'll tell you one thing.
Edge is one thing because he rehabbed the neck. He built strength in the neck. He was working out constantly while out of business.
Yep.
Soraya is out getting tattoos and going to rock concerts.
Mm-hmm.
She's not keeping herself in ring shape properly to the point where she would strengthen the muscles around the neck and then all of a sudden walk into a doctor's office 8 years later and go, oh, poof, I'm fine. No! Doesn't
Not
work
only
like that.
Not only that. Here's the issue. Number one, WWE kept her on the payroll for years after she wasn't medically cleared. Like correct. She stayed on the damn payroll doing the backstage stuff, doing the backstage show, doing all that stuff. They kept her on as long as possible. And if she was medically cleared, she would have been one of the first people Tripp scooped back up when he took over. Like her contract came to an end. They couldn't come to a renegotiation. Why? Because she cannot compete. If she could compete, they would have had her in the fucking ring already because WWE knows that there would have been money in it.
Yeah. And all you gotta do is think about, because here's this is the easy way to explain why the contract would have already been there.
Mm-hmm.
When you reflect back, Paige essentially ended her in-ring career in the first weeks of the Four Horsewomen being on the main rosters.
Yep.
Weeks!
Mm-hmm.
So you have all these matches with Sasha we never saw, with Charlotte, Bayley, now add in Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, Shayna Baszler,
right?
Shotzi, Ronda Rousey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did I forget Becky Lynch or did I say Becky Lynch?
You didn't say her, but it was implied. Yeah. And like we're talking the main roster version of these women because obviously she had matches with some of them in NXT, but that was when they were all still learning. Like, and they were great matches, but they could put in even more.
This is when Alexa Bliss was throwing glitter and still thought she was a fucking cheerleader.
Hell, Paige and Bianca would be money.
Bianca, thank you. Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
Fuck,
if Paige was cleared, they could have put Paige with fucking Judgment Day instead of Rhea.
Fuck. I'd even say Paige and Nikki. Mm-hmm. Paige and Doudrop.
Mm-hmm.
like I'm sure they crossed paths once a few times in Europe at some point
Mm-hmm.
at younger incantations of themselves.
Yeah.
Like the money is there.
Right.
The money match is already there.
Right. But if she can't work, they obviously can't use her. So that's why they released her. She can only stay on the sympathy payroll for so long.
God. Now watch. She's going to come out Wednesday night and announce she's been signed as a coach. And everybody's going to be like, oh. And then we're going to come on next Monday and be like,
soon I'll be ready.
We fucking told you so.
Yep. Yep.
Next, we get a Darby pre-tape vignette for Rampage where he's carrying around a body bag.
Oh, wow. I completely fast forwarded past that.
Good. It wasn't worth watching for 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get the main event. MJF is watching in the fucking upper deck box while holding his casino chip, which was upside down on the first showing, and then he was right side up the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I know it was upside down?
The AEW logo.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm sure
and let's just show that there's VIP boxes all around there, and there's only one with a person in it, and no one else is. That just shows that no one gives a fuck about this company,
right? And that they didn't even try selling VIP boxes because they weren't even available.
Right?
Fucking idiots.
Even so, like you make a cordial invite to people like Warner Discovery to sit in one of the VIP boxes, so it looks Leo.
Nope. You know what that would require?
Effort.
I was going for a 2-word phrase, actually.
Giving a fuck. That's more than 2 words.
Something we have, but clearly Tony Khan doesn't.
Class.
Common sense.
Yeah.
So, or fuck that. Just advertisers.
Yeah.
Like, bring Domino's in. Do a make good for the pizza cutter incident with Nick Gage.
You just blew my spot for SmackDown.
Oh God. Nice. We'll get to that. Yeah. What else? Bring in State Farm. They're a big advertiser for you guys. Bring in State Farm.
Did you notice? Here's something like usually when they go to the picture-in-picture, which they did in every fucking match again this time, usually it's filled with advertisers. This time, almost I think every picture-in-picture was led in with a commercial for Rampage.
Or the suicide prevention promo they did that one.
Yeah.
One commercial break. But yeah, you're right. Why? Because it's 2 hours, baby.
Because they need people to watch it.
So then we get So I know you still don't know how to time a show, Tony. That's how I know.
We're going to stay with this till the end. And then they didn't.
No. Not even that. Because we get the pinfall, which is the most important part. You clearly still don't know how to time a show, so we could see Danielson put the belt around Moxley.
Nope. So it goes off the air looking like Danielson is fighting with Regal.
Good job.
But we're going to stay with this till the end.
Right. Good job.
Because, we got to make sure, don't worry. We're not going to, we're going to go with this to the end. We're not going to get preempted by young Sheldon.
Couldn't buy 60 seconds, could you? No. That would have been like pulling hair. No.
And dude, so let me figure this out right. I really want to, quite literally 1 year ago, Bryan Danielson went 60 minutes in that very stadium with Twinkle Toes McFingerfuck and couldn't win.
Yeah.
And this year can only go 15 minutes with Moxley.
Yep.
This is what we're supposed to believe.
Yep.
We're supposed to believe that Bryan Danielson passes out to everyone lately and is up 5 seconds later.
Yep.
We're also supposed to not think that Moxley's winning this match when they projected it with Danielson giving him every finisher he's ever used and Moxley kicking out, whatever, and then Moxley winning after 2 Death Riders.
Yeah. I don't see the problem. What's wrong?
He pulled out the goddamn cattle mutilation.
I don't see what the problem is. So now here comes the interesting question. Did you actually watch Rampage?
No.
Oh, great. I get to go over 2 hours.
I had
of
to be
Rampage
up at
through this
7
one.
the next morning. I said, fuck this game.
It's called a DVR.
My DVR does not get wasted on shit like that.
You wasted on Dynamite.
Only because I wasn't watching it at the time. I never watch Rampage.
All right, so here's your 2-hour Rampage.
I know the shit that happened.
So we're hot out of the gate, brother. As Buddy and Brody are making their entrance, Sting and shitface painted McGee, Darby, walks up behind them and they attack them right at the top of the entranceway. That's cool.
Gotta have a jump start.
Sting clearly hurts his knee at some point. Shocker. 60-plus-year-old man getting hurt inside a wrestling ring. Came and fucking jump high enough to make the corner splash. He usually does look good. That's great. So let me get to the spot at the end of the match.
Couple of spots.
You've handcuffed Sting. You sat him in a chair. Buddy had, I can't remember if Buddy had something in his hand or if he was just standing there. I can't remember. Sting starts laughing because he's fucking psycho. We get a blackout.
Because that's what AEW does for everyone.
Of all the people in the world, let's not bring Miro in, who is just part of the program with Darby, Sting, and the House of Black. Nope. Fuck that. Let's not even book Miro for this fucking event. Nope. Fuck that. No. And I get there's a tie-in eventually, which I'll cover after I get through Rampage.
Still.
The Great Muta?
Because reasons, bro. Because they needed that surprise on Rampage like they did last year with Homicide.
The Great Muta?
Well, you know, I'm sure in the longer plan, it was supposed to be Muta misting Malachi Black.
Sure.
In the longer run of things, but, you know, Malachi's gone. Because I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be Sting and Darby versus the Kings of the Black Throne.
Right, from the House of Black. So Great Muta does Great Muta things.
Mm-hmm.
Does a dragon screw leg whip on Buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Then we eventually get...
And then Sting magically gets out of the handcuffs.
Right. Which gets funny later, by the way. It gets funny later in the show. I'll explain why at some point. I'm trying to remember what match it was part of. So somebody, don't quote me, I'm pretty sure it was Buddy. Bumps into all of 90-pound soaking wet Julia Hart, who's on the ring apron for whatever fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
She halfway overshoots the table set up behind her outside, which allows her head to bang against not the padding down on the ringside, but it bangs on the whatever the fuck was covering the tennis court there. Like platform, like rubber, like thick rubber platform, I think, something like that. And then Buddy's misted. Sting hits the Scorpion Death Drop, and that's your ball game.
We forgot the other table spot earlier in the match where Darby busted his fucking head open.
Yeah, because he was getting choked by Brody, and eventually Darby was able to get his footing and just kind of, just turn and jump, baby.
5 staples in his head, posted on Twitter. Worth it. Worth it for what?
Because he's a junkie. He's a junkie for stupid shit. You don't know this by now? He's an extreme sports junkie.
He's an idiot.
What is nothing to him? Shit, broken bones are nothing to him. You should know this by now. Come on. Apparently, Julia's okay. Thank the good Lord.
But Tony Khan didn't book that to happen.
Bullshit.
According to Basement Goblins, who want to
You
argue
tell
with
me what writer or fucking agent would not have known about that spot.
Exactly.
I want you to tell me what agent in good faith would not know about any table spot in any match ever.
Try to explain that to these neckbeards. I sent you the screenshots.
You can't sit there and tell me Tony Khan didn't know about this, or at least the
I
agent
know.
for them, or at least the agent of the match didn't know this was happening.
Which the agent would have gone to Tony Khan because Tony Khan, I book everything and everything goes through me.
Right.
Of course, I bet you I know who's the agent for that match. Didn't you see they announced two of the newest producers for matches there?
Well, Luther is one.
And Serpentico. So I'm guaranteeing that was Luther.
Serpentico is completely worthwhile.
I guarantee Luther fucking aged into that match.
And then we continue into the House of Black stuff where fucking Buddy Matthews is at an indie show over the weekend saying he's taking a break to recharge himself.
He wants out.
And then Brody goes on Twitter saying, I'm not fucking going anywhere. So it looks like the House of Black is going to be the House of
Brody
Hart.
And Brody's not going to be on. Brody's going to be on YouTube now. Because they're not going to push him as a singles.
No, you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen?
What?
He's going to inherit the Dark Order.
Oh, God. That would be so wrong.
In other news involving that match, by the way, the reason the Great Muta actually made sense, even though it was horrible, Sting's apparently going to take part in Great Muta's retirement match, which is taking place in fucking January.
Yep.
5 months away. No, 4, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
January 22nd, Yokohama for Pro Wrestling Noah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Muta was involved. Still didn't make a fucking lick of sense, but...
Right. You would think with it being Muta's retirement match, they would have it happen at Wrestle Kingdom.
I'm assuming he wrestled for both.
He wrestled for both All Japan and New Japan, yeah.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah, that would have made sense.
Because they did the whole big thing for Liger a few years back. You figured they would do the same honors for Muta.
Maybe. You probably, yeah. Shit, they even did shit for Yuji Nagata.
Right. And what sucks is it's going to be some bullshit like fucking 8-man tag.
Probably. Then we get to match number 2. Another tag match. And it was the first time I finally realized that this whole event had no tag ropes.
Yeah, I did notice that.
My other notes from this match, Hook just looks awkward running the ropes because I've never seen him run the ropes till that Friday night show.
Because he never has, and he's had 7 matches.
That's my point. The oversized tank top is a horrible look for Action Bronson because of how much weight he's lost. Yeah. It looks like a fucking dress on him.
Yeah.
And shocker, Hook and Action Bronson beat Menard and Parker.
Yep.
That's all I got there.
The barely fucking green rookie and the guy with the no bump clause beat the established tag team who are part of the biggest heel stable coming in currently.
And shocking, Action Bronson did not take any bumps. Shocking. Just complete and utter shock there. Then we get Wardlow and Joe against Neese and Woods in the tag match. That's 3 tag matches in a row to start the show if you're counting. Wardlow looks like he hurts his knee going over the top rope to the outside with Woods. Joe and Wardlow eventually beat Neese and Woods, and then Smart Mark suffers the Powerbomb Symphony from Wardlow because reasons.
Apparently Wardlow is probably injured, so look, get ready for another interim title tournament.
Not even. Just gonna be an interim. It's gonna be an interim TNT title ladder match.
Oh God!
Don't you know that, bro? Interim TNT titles are always a ladder match, bro.
No, that'll be the unification. Because when Sammy won the interim TNT title, it was just a regular ass match.
Right. Oh, you're right. Then we got apparently we're using Jungle Boy's real name as part of his name now.
Yeah, because he's changing his gimmick to fighting Jack Perry.
So Jungle Boy beats Ray Phoenix because that makes sense in any world.
Because babyface versus babyface.
Sure.
And Ray Phoenix always takes the pin.
Then after the match, Luchasaurus attacks Jungle Boy. Christian gets in the ring and says, "Don't come back to Jungle Boy." I'm gonna surprise everyone. Jungle Boy's coming back.
Jungle Boy's not coming back. Fighting Jack Perry.
It took 4 matches to get to our first singles match, if you're counting, by the way.
Yep.
Then we get Jericho doing a backstage interview that was recorded from Wednesday night from after he won the ROH title.
Uh-huh.
And he tells Daniel Garcia, "Don't fucking worry about whatever." Oh, not the honor shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, let's go fucking celebrate, whatever. Then we get Eddie Kingston beating Sammy Guevara, and as you mentioned, they did.
Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler, SummerSlam 1993.
I think this is the match, by the way, where fucking somehow a chair got involved in the match. I can't remember how or when, but the chair they tossed in was the same exact fucking chair Sting was sitting in. So the remainder chain of the handcuffs slid in with the chair.
That's great.
Fucking ridiculous. So Eddie beats Guevara technically, but he refuses to release a submission even after agents and referees come down to break him off. Decision gets reversed by the referee, which I believe was Bryce.
Yes.
No, that's right. Bryce was the one officiating the match, but Paul Turner, who's the senior referee, is the one who reversed the decision, giving Sammy the win by DQ. Then Eddie takes out security, who's not really security, bunch of indie guys.
So tell me, just for the record, when's the last time we saw a disqualification of any sort in AEW?
I thought disqualifications didn't happen in AEW.
Pretty much.
I don't fucking know. Reasons. I don't know. Then for the third time in this event in Queens, somebody tweaks their knee during a match.
Mm.
Jade Cargill tweaked her knee when she was catching Diamante doing a dive off the apron.
Because they're both terrible. Jade
eventually wins and retains the TBS title. Shocker. Then we get Hangman winning the Battle Royale.
I have words.
To earn the AEW title match on Dynamite on the 18th, when I think that's the Toronto show. If I remember correctly.
I have words.
I think I forgot one match on here, but go ahead.
Okay, so I would just like to rewind this whole situation of how AEW is in the state that it is and take it back to the fact that their champion put the blame, like their former champion put all this blame on Adam Page. From the get-go. Adam Page went into business and himself back in May with one line of a promo, supposedly. And then Adam Page is an empty-headed fuck that I have to deal with, quoted from the media scrum. Adam Page is the source of all these problems as to why CM Punk got into a fist fight backstage with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Adam Page is the reason CM Punk is now suspended. If Adam Page is this much of the problem, why are we putting Adam Page back in the main event?
Because Tony Khan's a pussy. That answer your question?
Pretty much.
That's a pretty straightforward answer, I think. What was the thing I forgot to put in here? The Battle Royale. Oh, the Lights Out match. Yeah. Ricky beating Powerhouse Hobbs. That's what it was.
That was a Lights Out match?
Yep.
When did they fucking say it was a Lights Out match?
They announced it during Dynamite. When they were doing the 5 times speed preview of the card with Sockface before the main event of Danielson and Moxley. Hence why.
So that's another Lights Out match we had this year.
Yep.
So that's what, 8 total in the last 2 years?
Yep.
Jesus.
Yep. And why? Say it with me. 1,
Reasons.
2.
Reasons. Sorry.
Dick. You fucking dick.
I didn't hear you. I said it before you started going 1, 2.
Oh, lovely. Guess who's...
What?
Jericho's making his first defense of the ROH World title on Wednesday night on Dynamite. Guess who it's against?
Wheeler Yuta.
No. Give you a hint. It's a former ROH star that has never I don't think he has. At least I don't think he has. Never appeared on AEW TV. And don't go too far back in your mind to figure out who it is. It's a recent star.
Flip Gordon.
You're on the right track as far as like moveset and shit like that. Think of Mexico.
Bandito?
Yep.
Bandito's been on or no. Yes, no.
Was he on actual TV?
Wasn't he on one of the Battle of the Belts?
I thought he was on pay-per-view but not TV. I could be wrong.
Maybe it wasn't on Battle of the Belts. Maybe you're right.
So yeah, that was just announced on Twitter literally 2.5 hours ago.
Jesus.
Lovely. Also, we have booked for this week Moxley versus Juice Robinson, a world title eliminator match.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho's championship celebration. So we're having a champion. Wait, let me get this straight. So apparently, we're going to open the show with a championship celebration, and I'm going to assume Jericho's going to defend the title in the main event against Bandito. Good to know what your opening and closing segments for the show are already.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not make that a surprise at all. And then there's going to be 2 different promo segments with Saraya and MJF. Yay, everyone.
Okay, so first off, let me talk about Jericho and the ROH belt.
Yep.
Okay, Basement Goblins need to realize that just because Jericho has the ROH belt doesn't mean ROH has a TV deal coming.
Correct.
Because they're all like, "Oh, well, that you want to put it on the back of an established name like Jericho." What, Claudio was an established previous WWE name that was on fucking WWE less than fucking 6 months ago?
I have a similar argument to bring up.
Go ahead.
AEW fans can no longer try to use the argument of WWE always puts the belts on the same guys. You can no longer make that argument. Yeah. Ever again. Yeah. Never do it again. You can't. You just fucking can't. Like, no. That argument is null and void from here on out.
I'm also telling you one other thing. That AEW title is changing hands within the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Because people seem to forget. Number one, there was a reason Moxley was originally supposed to take a vacation.
But number 2, in the middle of October, 2.5 weeks from now, Moxley has a match in GCW. Moxley defending the GCW championship against Nick Gage, where it's title versus career. It's Nick Gage's last shot at the title.
You know how that's ending.
Exactly. So there's 2 ways this ends. Either Moxley drops the AEW title within the next 2 weeks, or Tony Khan looks like the biggest of the biggest jokes in fucking promoter history if he lets his world champion go and do the job to Nick Gage.
Do you think he cares about that?
He should, because they mentioned GCW.
All right, I'm going to ask the question again. Do you think he cares about that? Don't give me the shoulds. Does he?
I would think he does, considering his bread and butter is the fucking internet.
He's too busy with Jacksonville being 2-1 in the AFC South right now.
Listen, my team's 1-2 and still has a better chance to get in the playoffs than Jacksonville.
My team is 2-0, going for 3-0 tonight. Go Giants. Any hooser. Other news from AEW on the outside. Ruby Soho got surgery on a broken nose, suffered it all out. Mm-hmm. No timetable yet for her return. And finally, this was pretty much assumed already, but official word out. CM Punk likely not returning, maybe receiving a contract buyout, which leads me to show this on the YouTubes. Apparently, the DirtySheets.com. Don't know who the fuck that is. Don't care right now because we're taking it. They did the math on CM Punk. CM Punk money from WWE in 2005 to 2014. He earned $9.5 million, including $9.75 million in his final contract.
So that was for 9 years. So he was basically making $1 million a year.
Right. CM Punk in UFC for 2 fights. 2 shitty fights at that. Made $1.2 million. God bless Dana White.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk and AEW, 13 months with potential buyout coming up. $9.6 million.
And what have I been saying for the last year? The Tony Khan signed Punk for $10 million.
Oh, man, he's like pissing money away like it's nobody's business. And before we leave AEW, I must leave you with this.
Oh, yeah.
Why are we making MJF saying he's a devil worshiper a t-shirt?
Because Tony Khan is too focused on the 18 and over demographic. Ain't no kid's going to be able to wear that shirt and buy that shirt and wear it to school.
No shit. Unreal.
Dude needs to realize the reason WWE has made money over the years is because people can and will bring their children to it.
And who drives the pocketbooks in the family?
The parents. The parents buy stuff for the children.
There we go. Thank you.
You make more money off a family unit than you do off a single lonely basement goblin.
I bought tickets for this meet and greet 7 months ago, and I camped out 3 nights ago to make sure I was first in line. Sorry, I had to. Eddie Hooser. I think that covers everything for AEW. That covers all our anger and spite and shit. So before we get into Mohawk Honda, before we get into WWE, let's talk about Mohawk Honda, shall we?
Sure.
God damn, I don't know how to fucking talk today. So yeah. In case you noticed, it's starting to get fucking cold out. I'm sure Mohawk Honda's gonna appreciate me starting their read by saying that, but yeah, it's getting cold out. I got my wife buying pumpkin flavored stuff for food. I drove around today, bringing family members to doctor's appointments, picking up my niece from school. The leaves are just looking orange and yellow and shit. It's fall. Seasons may change, but guess what doesn't change? The buying experience from Mohawk Honda. Because they always greet with a smile, they always treat you with respect, and they make sure that you get the best deal for the least amount of money possible. The new vehicle inventory of 2023 is just ramping up right now. Pilots, passports, Ridgelines, all showing up on lot. But it's also still the best time ever to sell your vehicle as Mohawk Honda buys cars. And in some cases, you may be able to sell it for more than you paid for it originally. Just another advantage that you get from visiting the #1 volume dealer in the capital region. As General Manager Greg Johnson and his team of sales consultants are always available to help you in the buying process. And you can always stop in and say hi to Scott Moynihan, making his return to Mohawk Honda and bringing 30-plus years of automotive experience with him. The staff may change. The leaves may change. The same quality service never changed at Mohawk Honda. Freeman's Bridge Road in Scotia, where they always go out of their way to please you. Speaking of pleasing you, let's get to WWE. Giggity is right. NXT. What do I have here? We already went through the spoilers of last week's show in last week's episode.
Yep.
Did we go through the spoilers at all for
this upcoming week? We didn't, but we already know what happens.
Seen them?
Yeah, that's the one where Tony Angelo gets injured.
Right. I'm trying to remember if I actually have seen the spoilers on the site where there
was one thing that happened on TV that wasn't released in the spoilers where we all went, what the actual fuck?
The stripping of the North American title?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, I guess we kind of saw that coming, per se.
I mean, the thing is, you can't, the whole thing is, oh, well, he's on SmackDown, so he can't have the North American title. Yet you have Apollo and Ricochet and other main roster people showing up in NXT and challenging for those titles. So why not? Is this the precedent that you sent? Is this the precedent you send that now every time you send someone down from the main roster and you put them in a program with the champion, if they win, that means that boom, why didn't they do that to Dolph? Dolph was still appearing on Raw while he was NXT champion.
I got nothing for you.
It's just terrible fucking booking. It's Sean. Sean can be a trainer all that he wants. Sean does not know how to book.
Yeah, I know, but it is what it is. I got nothing for you on that one.
And then, like, I'm sorry, but we're getting into AEW territory where it's like, oh, what do we do? Let's have a fucking multi-man ladder match.
Yeah, so they stripped the belt off Solo Sikoa. And then, of course, with Mello in the room, Mello's like, all right, thank you for giving my belt back. And Sean basically goes, not so fast. We're going to have ourselves a 5-man ladder match with Mello as the only automatic qualifier for the match.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 other spots will be filled by qualifying matches, in which, bear with me, I'm still scrolling for NXT spoilers for tomorrow night. Bear with me. So they had one qualifier in last week's episode, which was Oro Mensah in his NXT debut, going over on Grayson Waller to get into the ladder match. I'm assuming they're going to do
which is the same mistake they did with A-Kid the last time they had one of these 5-ways.
Right. Because one would assume they're going to put what was I going to say?
Whoever wins the best of 3 with Axiom and Nathan Frazier.
Right. That would be my guess. Yeah. Still trying to find these goddamn spoilers for NXT. I'm just drawing a blank right now.
If you find the ones for last week, it was all in the same thing because they taped 2 weeks in advance.
Maybe it was. Anyways, just other notes I made from the actual show that were just detailed per se. Number 1, can someone take the hair off of Sanga's chest and torso and make a quilt out of it already? Jesus fuck, man. Like, just...
Can you tell Matt Bloom's his trainer?
Just a little bit. Fucking A. All right. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it is all in the same.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, yeah. At least in the site I use. I'm shocked by that. All right. And then the other note I made, the airplane spin by Tyler Bate is just fucking insanity. Like,
yep.
I can't think of anyone that does it like that anymore. Aside from that, let's look into the spoilers for tonight. If you don't want to hear the spoilers for NXT tomorrow night, consider this your 5-second countdown to fast forward ahead and so you don't hear it. So yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That all being said, looking at the show for tomorrow night, here's what it looks like. They're going to open with Joe Gacy beating Cameron Grimes 1-on-1. And they also show the person, that red hoodie, again in the crowd.
Yep.
Who the fuck is that? I have no idea, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Then they have Sol Ruka finally make her debut, beating Amari Miller.
Yep.
That seems to be the welcome mat for most women that come into NXT these days. Then we get Nikita Lyons being one half of the women's tag champs, Kaden Carter, in singles action. We know where this is going.
Okay.
Then we had Dragunov come to the ring, cut a promo about winning the NXT UK title and never losing it. He had to vacate it. JD McDonough comes out, exchanges words with Ilya. Then Braun Breaker comes out.
So that's up a 3-way.
And then, yeah, they basically set up a 3-way for Braun. Apparently, during this promo for tomorrow night, Braun mentions that due to being a Steiner, he's good at math.
Yep.
And he has a 33 1/3% chance of beating both of them at Halloween Havoc in a triple threat match. Thank you, Braun Breaker. That's the first funny thing you said in your entire career. Damon Kemp and Brutus Creed go to a no contest after Damon uses a chair several times to beat down Brutus Creed.
Which, wouldn't you call that a disqualification? Why is it a no contest?
I don't fucking know. Stupid. Wesley defeats Tony D'Angelo via referee stoppage. Stacks gets ejected during the match. Tony got thrown in the middle turnbuckle. Doctors checked on him. Then they called the bell afterwards, declaring Wesley the winner. And Tony did help to get backstage from a few people.
Right. They're not sure if they're going to air that or not.
Right. Then we got Mandy Rose beating Fallon Henley in a non-title match.
Ugh.
Then Mandy cut a little promo about Alba Fire, who came on the screen and mentioned she'd be coming for the women's title. Yay.
Again.
Right. Then Ilya Dragunov beat Zion Quinn in a one-on-one match. And then
Of course, Iron Quinn.
Yeah.
That dude's got talent. Like, that dude's got the potential. And, like, yeah.
And then the main event is going to be a Pub Rules tag team match. Briggs and Jensen defeat Wolfgang and Mark Coffey of Gallus. There apparently are garbage cans, chairs, and tables used. Briggs and Jensen hit their finisher on Mark Coffey, who had a garbage can wrapped around him to win the match. Gallus had security surrounding them at ringside, and one of the members appeared to take out a referee, so they were escorted out by security as well as local authorities. Don't know what the fuck that's to do with anything. Maybe that was after the match, I guess. I don't
Probably.
know. Random. Fucking random. So yeah, that's your fucking show tomorrow night. Yay.
I mean, it's the last one of the tie-dye era.
Yes.
Because, like I said, I'm pretty sure they taped the 2 weeks in advance so they could revamp the way the PC looks for the show.
Then we get to SmackDown. Let's change the banner. SmackDown. We have. Oh, one other thing. Sorry. One other thing. Two other things, actually, from involving live events over the weekend for NXT. Number one, Veer Mahan has apparently been sent down to NXT.
Oh.
And is tagging with Sangha.
Oh.
So
I was liking Veer Mahan.
I know. But you can only squash Rey and Dominic Mysterio so many times. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just keep doing it.
You're not going to do that with Dom and Judgment Day now.
Why not? Make Veer this monster baby face.
Because Triple H knows how to book, unlike Tony Khan.
I just want to see Veer beat up Dominic.
I know you do, but you can't know.
Why not?
So that's number one.
Why can't we have nice things?
I don't know. Number two. I don't know if it's just because I still haven't watched any of his stuff from Level Up yet. This Quincy character. Did he use his chest for offense?
Sometimes.
He's taking his man titties and slapping people in the corner with them.
You know who else used to do that?
Who?
You mentioned him earlier in the show.
Who?
Marshall McNeil.
See, with Marshall, it's funny. With Marshall. With Quincy, it just looks awkward. I'm sorry. Especially when the camera angle that I saw the clip of was from the corner they were in. So you basically have an invasion of, no. It's almost like the stink face cam.
Exactly.
Just, oh, God. Oh. What are we doing? I'm sorry. Anyways, to get on track with SmackDown, probably the most, how should I put this? One of those weird gotcha segments to open the show. Bloodline comes out, they do an in-ring promo, Solo acknowledges Roman. Then this music hits, they're leaving the ring, but before they can get out, Sammy interrupts the exit, stops the music, thanks the Bloodline for taking him in, and he acknowledges Roman as the tribal chief. Then Roman asks Sammy what he wants by dragging along with them. Tells Sammy to take off the Bloodline shirt he's wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy hesitates. Jay then rips it off of Sammy. And Roman says he doesn't want to see Sammy in the Bloodline shirts ever again. Only to toss Sammy a customary honorary Oos shirt.
Which they've been selling on WWE Shop for the past few weeks prior to this.
So fucking well played, though. The whole fucking...
It was well played, but it would have been better if they hadn't released that shirt online already.
Well, yeah. Duh. You know. Then our actual first match of the show, Liv beats Lacey Evans. Shocker. In a non-title match. Then decides to take out Lacey Evans with a kendo stick that Lacey had brought into the ring at the end of the match. Mm-hmm. And then Liv puts Lacey through a table with a senton off the top rope because Extreme Rules coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get the first segment of Hit Row Street Profits and Shin backstage for a Hit Row party.
With a QR code in the background that everyone missed.
Yeah, an Easter egg. There it is right there. If you're watching on the YouTube side, you can see This is pre-Shin coming into the segment, by the way.
Yep.
You can see it clearly right there on the TV screen in the background between B-Fab and Montez Ford. There's your QR code. Happy birthday. And apparently the QR code led to a game, and when you finish the game, you're linked to show the geographical coordinates
of where Raw is tonight.
In Edmonton. That is correct.
They did something else too. I don't know if I messaged you.
I think I saw it, but you can go ahead and tell me.
They flyered everyone's cars with white rabbits.
They're really putting a lot of effort into this shit.
Dude, that's so imagine, and like Shelly even said, she's like, imagine Vince actually like putting the effort to paper cars ever. Never.
Then we get Sammy running into Madcap and Ricochet backstage. They're talking shit about Bloodline. Solo jumps Madcap and Ricochet for disrespecting Sammy because Solo and Sammy are buddies, I guess. Sure. Then we get a package on the Usos. Now they're only 2 months away from becoming the longest reigning tag champs of all time.
I guess we're just done with New Day.
Maybe. Then speaking of New Day, we get them beating Maximum Male Models pretty quickly. As Max storms out on Massey, Mansoor, and Maxine after the match. They're trying to tease more and more about LA Knight coming back. I'm not entirely sure about it.
Yeah, I know.
Then we get scene number 2 from the Hit Row Party backstage as the Lotharios try to make a move on B-Fab. Top Dollar and Adonis send them packing, tell them to leave. Then we get Braun against Otis. Braun wins, and
it was okay.
It did the job. Let's just put it that way. Then we get a Brawling Brutes backstage interview where Butch runs away towards the end and nobody goes chasing after him. Fucking scary. Because it's Pete Dunne.
Yep.
Then McIntyre's in the ring doing a promo. He announces a strap match against Karrion Kross at Extreme Rules. This is where shit goes a little sideways.
Yeah.
So Kross attacks Drew after Scarlett had come out to their entrance. So he attacks Drew from behind. Drew gets the upper hand, though, with the eventually attaches the strap to him and Kross, starts whipping the shit out of him. Then Scarlett eventually intervenes and prevents Drew from hitting him anymore. He turns around and kind of sort of walk away from the scene. Scarlett turns in as she's kneeled down in front of Kross, who's cowered in the corner, basically. Well, she turns into him, clearly doing something.
Yeah.
As Drew turns and comes back towards their corner, which you couldn't really make out very well during the live shot.
Yeah.
You had to see the replay to make it out, really, that they showed eventually.
Yeah.
Scarlett had shot off a fireball, apparently. And it kind of sort of missed the mark.
Yeah.
Drew played it off. Good on him, being a professional. So eventually leads to Scarlett giving Drew a low blow, and then Kross finally choking out Drew.
Right. See, at least they were able to cover it up right away.
Right.
Because before we go further, I wanted to speak a little bit on fireball spots.
And there are details that have come out about this, by the way, since then.
Oh, there are.
Yes. Apparently, the materials used for that spot were not bought by the props team. They were bought on the road by, I'm not sure if it was actually Scarlett and Kross who bought it themselves, or if it was somebody else within.
They were at a gag shop that had expired shit. That would make even more sense. Yep.
Right.
So, yeah. So here's the thing with fireball spots is, and there's a reason you don't see them that often. They are very hard to pull off. And there's there's several reasons for it. The best fireball spot that I can think of that went off without a hitch was between Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler. When Kaufman was disguised at ringside and Lawler came over and he did it right there. It's because it was very close range and it was very quick. Flash paper, which is what you use for fireballs, is very, very temperamental. I've done a lot of work with flash paper fire effects. Flash paper absorbs liquid very fast. If you have the slightest bit of sweat on your hand, the flash paper gets it, and then the shit don't light. Think Hogan and Warrior in WCW. And because they purposely tried. They put the flash paper in a sandwich baggie to keep it dry. Still didn't help.
I'll throw out another spot. I can't remember if it. I remember it looking good, but I don't know if it actually went off well. Speaking of Hogan, rewind a few years to King of the Ring '93.
Well, see, that was where they did it with the camera, and that was why. And I was going to get to why that works.
Okay, go ahead.
So, getting back to like one other time that I saw a fireball work, but it was like a half worked, half didn't, was actually back in the day when I first started training. Mike Milano and Ron Zombie. Ron Zombie. There was a spot where
fireball working. Shocker.
Zombie was getting the fireball. He was taking it.
Oh.
And Mike basically had like a fistful of freaking flash paper and lit it and just threw it. And it did what it did. Like it looked all right, but yeah, like so the thing with the camera, and actually falls back to, so one person that was really good at working the fireball effect was Jim Mitchell. Because what happened was, while he was on the road in ECW, he found it's what works for when you're working with flash paper was a flash paper gun. It's little, it's like the size of like one of those like little pro handle pistol looking lighters.
Yeah. And
you can just poke a, like you can basically like roll up a piece of flash paper, slip it in, and then it does it. And the flash paper gun was what was attached to the camera. Yeah, that's King of the Ring.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but the flash paper gun, the problem, and this is a very famous story with Jim Mitchell, was because he did it for November to Remember. He did a promo where he like talks about giving thanks and blah, blah, blah. And then he uses the flash paper gun to light it on fire, and it comes out and it's Mikey Whipwreck tied up like a suckling pig, and there's a fire ring around him. So when they filmed that, he had actually been working backstage and figuring out that if you get more flash paper in the gun, you can get bigger fireballs, or you can get like 2 fireballs in a row.
Oh boy.
And he sat there with a toothbrush and he started ramrodding the flash paper into the gun, and it exploded.
Right. I remember hearing about this.
Yep. And that's when he turns and looks at Mikey Whipwreck and goes, "Mikey, this is no good." And there were pieces of his hand on Mikey's face. And one of the, like, not only did it blow off like the middle of his hand, but what do you call it? The shrapnel went into the side of his abdomen, and that's why he had to go to the hospital.
He went JPP on himself. That's good.
Which what?
He went JPP on himself.
Yeah.
You remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. But yeah, so
Except
that's why
flash paper, not fireworks. But go ahead.
Right. So yeah, so that's why, like, fireball spots, you usually want to use a flash gun, but they're very, very temperamental. So that's why you don't see fireball spots a lot. So it's like, as much as people say, "Look, Scarlett fucked it up," you try doing one. It's a bitch. I know from fucking experience. Flash paper is a bitch to work with, especially if it was bought on the road, whereas it's probably sitting at a gag shop for God knows how long, because it does lose its potency over time. If they had worked with props department to get some, props department could have gotten some fresh, or there's actually ways you can make flash paper, and they could have had someone in props department make some a week ahead of time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So after that, we had Raquel. Oh, by the way, need to pause again for a second. The whole 923 at 923 thing.
Yes.
Was a commercial break in which they were playing White Rabbit in the arena again.
Yeah, they were playing White Rabbit in the arena. The commercial break we got was Domino's. So 923 at 923. Nick Gage to WWE confirmed.
Oh, fuck you. Then we got Raquel beating Dakota Kai after Shotzi took out Io and Bailey to prevent interference. So obviously we know what we're building for with that.
Yeah.
Then we get the last segment of the Hit Row Party backstage, which the Lotharios return and attack Adonis and Top Dollar. Obviously, we're going to keep going with that because we really fucking need it. And then we close the night with the Usos retaining the tag titles over the Brawling Brutes, and that's your SmackDown. As for, before I get into any other news not involving on-air product, Raw tonight, there's 4 matches officially booked for tonight.
That's
Raw.
a lot more than the usual. Usually they have like one match
usually like 2 and then like a segment or 2 they pre-announce.
Right.
So we've got Bianca against Io Sky in a non-title match. Seth Rollins versus Rey Mysterio. Riddle against Damian Priest. And then the tag match that was booked during Raw last week. KO and Johnny Gargano, aka
Against
Panda
Alpha.
Express,
Yeah.
against Alpha Academy.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So yeah, so I mean, 4 quality matches all booked already, and well,
Right.
3 quality matches and 1 that Riddle's going to carry.
Right.
And
I know people are bitching about Raw's ratings from last week because they were down, but it's also because the average was down, and it's because it's Monday Night Football season.
They were against 2 games last week, too.
They were against 2 games, and really they kept their viewership up till the last 2 quarters.
Exactly.
And that's when it dropped. And people are going to say, "Oh, it's because there was a women's match in the main event." No, it's just because they were against 2 fucking football games.
Oh yeah, let's take the easy cop out and just say it's the women's main event. That's fucking nice.
Right.
You're kidding me, right? That was what he said.
Oh yeah, because they started at 1.8 million and they ended at 1.3 million. And they pretty much stayed steady along the way until the last 2 quarters. But the thing was, they were down overall, number one, because football started, but then it was just because people were just like, it's football. It's 2 games of football. What you got to do?
Foosball.
It's the devil.
I feel like people are really using the women's main event as a cop-out. Fuck off.
They
Just fuck right off. All right. Few quick things. Number 1, Sheamus has been booked for a rematch for the IC title against Gunther on the quote-unquote season premiere of SmackDown, which is going to be next Friday, October the 7th.
Yep.
Number 2, have you heard the conspiracy of what all these teases are really leading towards?
Besides the
QR codes and shit. Yeah. Have you heard the conspiracy about this?
No. I mean, originally, it was that people thought it was Cross, but obviously it's not because Cross is in a program.
There's a conspiracy theory that it's going to be Bray and leading a stable, basically.
Well, because Eric Rowan has expressed interest in coming back too.
Wrong. Not involving Eric Rowan. There's conspiracy out there that everything is trying to reflect the Firefly Funhouse that used to exist. And that Bray is now going to take those figments of his imagination
and turn them into people.
Correct.
And it was supposed to, I saw something like it was supposed to be Braun and Gacy and the Dyad or something.
Wrong. You're right about one name, the first name you said.
Yeah.
The 4 names that have been mentioned are Braun Strowman, Karrion Kross, Scarlett.
Mm-hmm.
This one I think makes the least sense out of the 4. But as far as being on that level of creepy, I would get it, and that's Dexter Lumis.
And you see, the thing is, that's great in everyone's fantasy booker mind, but you're talking about at least 3 of those 4 male people are singles people on their own. They don't need to be in a stable. Stables are designed to get middle card guys to main event status. These guys are already established and in programs.
Not elevating, not plateauing.
Right.
I don't know why I said that so low, but yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Right. And also, Cross is a heel, and the other 3 are all proverbially faces right now.
Yeah. Other note, Drew was taken off this weekend shows.
Food poisoning.
He was wrestling from food poisoning. He even had to. He was actually feeling so bad Friday night on SmackDown. They had to take an IV before he went out for the segment.
Yep.
So hope Drew's okay come Friday. This coming Friday, so he doesn't have to miss too much.
Yeah, food poisoning's a bitch.
And then we have someone returning to backstage for WWE.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Would you like to spill the beans on that?
It's someone who I lost faith in when he was down there earlier, so he's got time to make good. That's Gabe Sapolsky.
Yep. Back with NXT.
Is it official that he's back with NXT?
That's the rumor. It's not official. But I wanted to close the show with 2 quick things. Aside from whatever you might want to talk about that we haven't touched on. Number 1. And this is based on something that came out 3 hours ago. If you listen to Ric Flair's podcast, you already know this. Because that's where he said what I'm about to mention.
He's going to wrestle another match in Puerto Rico.
I don't know about Puerto Rico, but that's...
What did he fucking... I was joking.
No, he's serious.
Jesus fuck.
I got nothing for you, man. I got nothing.
Which is so fucking funny because over the weekend I saw Kurt Adonis, who was the timekeeper for that match.
What do you say?
We didn't talk about that. We just caught up on old times because we hadn't seen each other in forever.
I'm just so done. Just so done.
Jesus. I don't get it. I mean, I do because it's fucking Flair, but still.
Here's the other thing I want to discuss real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Roman skipping Extreme Rules, for lack of a better phrase.
He worked a house show this past weekend.
Good for him. It was probably to make good on Drew not being there, I'm guessing.
Probably something like that, but because they've been advertising the Saturday house shows as Saturday night's main events.
Right.
And they put up that like the tickets sold really well, and it was a rare Roman house show appearance, and it really helped the house.
I think they were still in Cali, too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I want to say they were in Stockton and Fresno.
No, it was either Cali or somewhere in Canada. I forget.
I think it was Stockton and Fresno this weekend.
Okay.
Anyways, so let's presume and book ahead what we're looking at with Roman for title defenses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that before the end of the calendar year, we get one more title defense on TV. Who, I don't know, but it's Fox.
Right.
I assume they have it somewhere in their contract where they get X number of title defenses per year on the show.
Right. Yeah.
So we're just going to assume at least one before 2022 ends.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Crown Jewel booked with Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you think about it, it's booked. It is what it is. Get through it. So then we get to Survivor Series, which I remember correctly is in Boston?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Kind of looking at maybe thinking about possibly.
It depends on what my schedule turns out the next.
I got to see what tickets are because that's going to be expensive.
So here's the look. Extreme Rules, Halloween Havoc, Crown Jewel. Okay, so Survivor Series in Boston. To me, I would put that at 50-50 just because we don't know
what the War Games match is going to be.
Right. We don't know who or what is being booked for War Games yet. So you just got to wait and see. Plus, you have to let it breathe and see if anything more anything more comes out of the stuff they're doing with Sami Zayn now.
Right, exactly.
If it becomes more with KO involved, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and just assume we're going to have a title match at day one in Atlanta.
Probably.
We're also going to go on a limb and assume we get a match at Royal Rumble in San Antonio.
Yes.
This now leaves us with WrestleMania in LA, April 1st and 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Between that, let me see if I can figure out. No, I didn't want that. No, piece of shit. There we go. That's what I want. Thank you, Wikipedia. You are my lifesaver. All right. So let's look at this year's schedule and just kind of book ahead what we could be looking at, aside from Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you're looking at Elimination Chamber, potentially. Whether or not it's in Jeddah again, like it was this past year, I
doubtful.
don't know.
I think that was a one-time.
Okay, so let's just assume Elimination Chambers in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, they had been doing Fast Lane
or Roadblock, whichever they choose to call it.
On again, off again. It was an off again year this year, so I'm kind of assuming they might go back to the well with it in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Again, don't want to assume.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you have 4 pay-per-views between Survivor Series and and Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Day 1, Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and Fastlane, Roadblock, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I would be of the opinion to, like you said, yes on day 1, yes on Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
I would go no on Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And 75% no for Fastlane.
Right. Fastlane
Unless you
Roadblock,
just-
I believe, would be like a one of those last case scenarios of number one contendership for Mania on the line in the main
Correct.
event. Yes.
Right. So, if we're booking ahead
Mhm.
between now and day one,
Mhm.
do we give Drew another shot?
Possibly.
Does Cross work his way into the picture at all?
Definitely.
Do we revisit KO?
Maybe.
Trying to think. Do we? Oh man.
Braun.
Do we go? I was about to say, can we go back to the very birth of the title reign and go back to Braun?
We could.
Because I believe what was it? It was Roman, Braun, and
It was Braun
Bray?
and Bray, and Roman signed the contract and walked in on the last minute. Yeah.
Right. If Bray is back by then, do we go visit Bray?
Not yet. Bray's going to be a slow burn.
Okay. So I'm going to put out a. It's not even really I guess we'll call it a theory. But I'm going to put out a fantasy booking here.
Mhm.
Not necessarily fantasy in that this is what I want to have happen.
Mhm.
But if we're going with the direction we would prefer, and that you just said with Bray, which is a slow burn,
Mhm.
let's go on a limb and say Bray returns in Survivor Series.
Okay.
Because that to me just sounds like the ideal moment to do it. You Riyadh, nah.
I feel like he's going to come back as Extreme Rules, though.
I mean, you could, but I'm
Because
just saying.
if
If there's times you're going to do it, it's either Philly next weekend or Survivor Series.
right. It's just
You're not
I don't
doing
think they
anything.
can drag on the White Rabbit stuff for another 2 months.
Fair. My point is that Riyadh's not the right crowd, and you're not going to give it away on free TV.
Mhm.
It's either Philly next weekend or Boston at the end,
Right. Survivor Series.
the weekend after Thanksgiving or whatever it is, or the weekend before. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Weekend after. It's one or the other. You're not doing any time in between.
Right.
If we do a slow burn, could you book Bray Roman? I mean, again, I know everybody wants to talk about it's going to be Roman and Dwayne.
Because it is.
That's what everybody's saying. Well, let's be hypothetical and say Dwayne is not an option.
It's okay.
Work with me here.
Mm-hmm.
If you go the slow burn route, could Bray be your best option for Mania?
If
Or
built
one of
right,
your
yes.
top 3 options?
Yeah, if built right, yes. Because the anticipation of him coming back and the merch money that's there when he does come back, that's your big person. I tell you who's not going to be there. It's the person every fucking keyboard warrior thinks is going to be there.
At what?
To take the belt off Roman at Mania.
Let me guess, Mr. Torn Peck himself.
Uh-huh.
Listen,
Cody is never going to main event WrestleMania.
Linda, listen. Because I literally just saw this headline today.
Cody is not a monetary draw of that caliber, no matter how much these fucking people want to think it. If Cody was that much a monetary draw, he could have carried AEW on his back.
Oh God, there's a picture of Brock clean shaven now. God help us.
So he looks like a garbage pail kid again.
So, Mr. Torn Peck. Let's see. Hell in a Cell was what? Bear with me. Hell in a Cell was what? May?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or June.
Or first weekend of June, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been almost 4 months.
Uh-huh.
And WWE had stated when he went out, we're looking
This is
at
a
9
9-month
months.
recovery, yeah. Which is legit. That's not like them like overshooting to be safe. That's the legit time for this.
Apparently, Dickface McGee talked to TMZ Sports.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you saw this?
Oh, yeah.
Cody said he's getting close to making a WWE return, but he also stated that doctors won't give him a timeline for when he could return to in-ring action because they know he would try to return quicker than they would recommend, which could lead to re-injuring himself. No shit, Sherlock.
Yep.
When asked about a timeline for his return, Cody said, quote, they haven't really given me one because they know I'm stupid, and I try to test it. Duh. I got my mind where I want to be, and I think a lot of fans have in their mind where I'd like to be. And that's hopefully where it's at. Right now, I do actually agree with what's going on because I think what happens next, hopefully, and what we do, this is all speculative up in the air. Hopefully, it's a run that people remember, and I got to be healthy for it. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know.
It's because he knows that there's no marketability in him now. They got that big pop, but then he went and injured himself, and he injured himself fucking lifting weights. It's not like he injured himself during a match. Like, the whole thing was he came into the big pomp and circumstance there. And the thing is, and what Vince didn't see is that there is no return on him. Like, he had him on for a month.
Yeah.
And then he hurt himself. And then they went through, it's like, all right, well, we carried a fucking pay-per-view with you in the main event. That's nice and all well and good. But now, like, we have to keep running these vignettes every like once a month to remind people that you work for us. Mm-hmm. And it's the law of diminishing returns. And when Cody does come back, sure, Cody will get a big pop from the people in the audience there. It's not going to do anything to show a return on the ratings or on the merch or anything like that. And so, like, I was of the matter of, even if Cody had not injured himself and had been active this whole time, that Cody was not going to be a main event player.
Also factoring, we haven't had a true test yet because when he was back for those 2 to 3 months,
he only worked Seth.
Aside from that, he was being shot to the moon.
Right, he was.
Because there was no legitimate forward-thinking baby faces really on Monday. Because they hadn't really, because Riddle was still in a tag team. This is pre-Orton injury.
Right. And this is when they were they were planning on pushing Orton for the title, but Orton got hurt.
Right. This is pre-KO getting brought back to the limelight and not getting buried in the Ezekiel bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fabric of Raw itself has changed, let alone factoring in Braun Strowman returning, Cross returning. I know he's not a face, but it's still Cross.
But still, right.
Bray's impending comeback that everyone keeps saying is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Plus all these guys that seem to be unhappy in AEW that are reportedly wanting to come back. The Malachi Blacks of the world. I'm not going to put Buddy in that category.
I would.
All right, so Buddy.
Because he was a Trips guy.
All right, so Buddy Matthews. Also hopes he's dating Rhea Ripley, probably the hottest. The hottest woman on. I mean, that physically. I mean that like heat wise, the hottest woman on the roster right now.
Yep.
I mean, Bayley's white hot. Paraphrasing, loosely using the term white hot. Bayley's white hot because she knows how to be just fucking annoying. Rhea's white hot because she knows how to be evil and pull it off.
Yeah.
Right? There's layers to it.
Right.
But I mean, like, those extenuating circumstances and factors weren't there when Cody got hurt.
Right. There's way more working parts now.
Now they're there.
I'm telling you right now, the 2023 Royal Rumble is going to be what I'm going to dub the "Can you top this Royal Rumble?" Because what's going to happen is
Rumble that's impossible to predict.
It's going to be big surprises in intervals throughout the thing to larger and larger pops. That's when you're going to see the return of Cody. That's when you're going to see the return of Randy Orton. That's when you're going to see the return of The Rock. It's going to be done in intervals to pop the crowd louder and louder.
I'm going to go on a limb and say it right now. Without knowing for sure all three of those people you just mentioned are in the Royal Rumble, this might be the most impossible Royal Rumble to try and forecast. I know it's September, but 4 months out and trying to forward book, because you're in WrestleMania season. It's like, this is WrestleMania season, really, when you think about it. Once you get through SummerSlam, you're forward booking to WrestleMania at this point.
Yep.
I'm at a point 4 months out of the Rumble, I don't have a fucking clue. And I like that. It's good to be in a situation where there's obvious contenders, but as far as pinpointing one guy, it's good to not have a fucking clue for once. And I love it. Like, it's going to make people think a lot. And I don't know about you, but I like the potential drama. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any grievances you like to air? I know it's not Festivus, but do you have any you like to air?
We're going to talk about Liv Morgan fucking up.
Oh. Apparently, she was at a strip club with Sonya Deville.
Yep.
She tweeted out a short 10-second clip and didn't realize there was a naked chick on stage behind them. And she quickly removed the video, but not before the internet had captured it. And she apologized. And yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was already losing that title, but say goodbye to any push.
Yikes.
It's a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to be your excuse? I was drunk. Not a good excuse. You're in a damn strip club. Right. I'd never take a selfie of myself in the bathroom of a strip club, let alone on the main floor of a strip club.
Yeah. Anything else before I go into two small things I want to bring up to you?
I don't think so. I think that was all the WWE notes. So yeah, go ahead.
Two main things.
Oh, I have one grievance, but I'll let you wait.
Two main things, quick. Number one, can we stop making a big deal of guys from one company working out with guys from another company?
Yes.
Who fucking cares? Just because you feel like you have to pick one side over the other doesn't mean they all hate each other. It doesn't work like that. No. I mean, just like, I'll give you an example. I may not like how all the other companies around me do business, and you probably feel the same way. I may not like how all the other companies around me do business, but it doesn't mean I hate every single person involved with all those companies.
Right.
Like you could name off 80% probably, at least 80% of the talent from all those companies, and I'll still say, yeah, they're chill. I'd book them. Like, there's no, the heat I have with the select few involved in running those companies doesn't mean I have heat with the others or have hatred towards the others. It's okay. You can be friends. It's okay.
Prime example of me seeing Kurt this weekend. Kurt's the ring announcer for NEW. I haven't seen Kurt in ages. Welcomed each other with a huge hug.
There you go. Second thing. Nobody over the age of 13 should ever be ringside with a replica championship belt.
Oh, God.
You're not a child. If you have a replica championship belt, you should be doing one of two things. A, bring it to a collectible show to be signed or sold. Or B, keep it in a fucking case in your house. Don't be fucking bringing it to a live event for all the other public germs to get on it and to disgrace the title itself.
So yeah, I kind of did that once.
Well, you're allowed I'll give you a one-time pass.
Well, twice.
Oh, what title was it?
I had an old Attitude Era WWF replica belt. There were two reasons I did it. One was because the indies, like one of the indies I used to go to back in the day, they were obviously using replica belts. They didn't buy their own. So then, and I saw that. So the next show I went to, I brought my belt and I brought a sign saying $100, I'll make you the champ.
That's the side effect of everything, by the way. If you're over 13 years of age and bring a replica belt, you're ready for somebody to step up and be like, I challenge you for that title, and fighting in the fucking parking lot.
Exactly. And the other time was
forced to defend it.
The other time was I was at a Jersey show that Jeff Jarrett was on, and Jeff came out and I said, Jeff, you like my belt? I got the same way you did. I bought it.
When you say replica belt, was it the world title or was it something different?
Yeah, it was the same. It was that Attitude Era WWF belt.
The circled one with
the
blue strap.
Not the blue strap, but the one that they switched over when Austin won it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
The not winged eagle one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was
It was an odd belt.
Looking back now, yeah, it was a very odd looking belt.
It was the same design we used for our old tag belts.
It's probably about the level it was meant for. No offense to the tag belts.
It just worked better that way.
Yeah. All right, you had one other thing you want to bring up. Go ahead.
Now that the weekend is over, I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to give anyone any free publicity. But I have a long-term plan worked out for when Dissension Pro Wrestling starts running again. And it involves it involves running locally in my area. It involves moving away from the town we used to because that town has been killed by people poaching my old venue.
Unfortunately.
And running closer to home for me. as such, I have a 1 to 2 year plan worked out where I start in a couple of smaller venues and work my way up to a much, much larger venue. Now I have to recalibrate all my plans because that much, much larger venue is going to be hosting a wrestling event in the near future. It is hosting an event by a company that has never run an event before, being booked by someone who has never booked a show before, and frankly, has hardly wrestled.
I know where this is going.
Now, I know this town like the back of my fucking hand. This entire weekend, I was at this town's largest annual gathering. It was the 60th anniversary. It's akin to going to one of the bigger town fairs in this state. When people talk about Connecticut town fairs, they talk about the Berlin Fair, they talk about the Durham Fair. They're a little below the Big E.
Yep.
Like, obviously, the Big E is the biggest thing in the Northeast. But I was at this place all weekend working my church info booth. I did not see one mention, one flyer, one person going around, anything of mention of this company's show. What did I see? I saw a friend share a status on Facebook to just their friends, not publicly, saying, if anyone wants tickets to this, I've got them. And they're not even a worker. Mm-hmm. Also, the name of your company is stupid. And you're going to get the wrong viewpoint by your advertising, by which I mean the logo you're using for your show that you don't even share on fucking social media. Because people are going to think that you're Antifa. So this is just a bump in the road for me. I have other plans. I can work around this. I'm just hoping this doesn't kill that venue for when I hope to run it in the future, because that venue is beautiful and I used to stare at it every day from my fucking work cubicle, awaiting a day that it would reopen because it was condemned for many years. Mm-hmm. And I'll be goddamned if you kill my town before I get a chance to take it over.
His town.
My town. You don't even live here. I do. And this is me being nice. I'm not even talking about the other company that has fucked my company over every time, that already got your other show, which was supposed to be your first show, shut down. Because you're all supposed to run a town fair, and then what happened the day that it happened? Oh, we don't have any U-Haul trucks in the whole state. See, I'm not that petty. Mm-hmm. But this motherfucker is, and guess what? He used to run in this town too. Just saying.
Bitch. Anyways. All right. That being said, thanks for tuning in to White Heat, episode 68, presented by Godzilla Media, sponsored by our friends over at Mohawk Honda and Johnstone Supply.
Yo, next week is
favorite position, episode 69.
Nice. Episode nice.
That might be what I name it, episode nice.
Exactly.
Just for the hell of it. Yeah. Any comments about the show, you can always tweet at us. He's at JJ_Alexander. I'm at Brian Cady, all one word. BRIANCADY. If you have a long-form compliments, questions, complaints, brian.cady@GodzillaMedia.com. Think of Godzilla without the D, media.com. For JJ, I'm Brian. Enjoy your week of wrestling. I'm going to find a way to take a nap somehow. I don't know. We'll figure it out. What a fucking day. JJ, say fuck off, Bobby Fish.
Fuck off, Bobby Fish.